Alrighty. So, family creation. So what? So David, you were interested in playing the Deathless Elite.
Yeah.
What about the rest of you? Anything jump out?
I really definitely was excited by the idea of the dudes that had the button for the
Oh,
weapons. I don't know
yeah.
what they're called.
Let me see. Yeah, I'll find them for you again. I believe they're an end game.
Yeah.
Sounds like an end game
they
thing.
were
The Doomsday Riders.
Doomsday Riders.
What?
Yeah.
That's metal.
It's an end game, yeah.
So where are all the classes again?
Okay, so you're gonna find them in 3 different books. So you're gonna find them in Legacy: Life Among the Ruins, just the one that just says that. You're gonna find them in Endgame, and you're gonna find them in The Engine of Life. Each of them have a table of contents that's clickable, so you can find family playbooks in the table of contents for each of those, and you'll find little blurbs about each family. And I'll start looking for what I want the Israelites to be. The remnant. Let's see. I think I will probably find them in the Engine of Life. Because their whole thing, right, is going to be looking towards, like, escape, looking towards building something else in a different place. Well, so maybe they're an endgame. I don't know. Let's look. Actually, maybe they aren't these people. Maybe they're an endgame. Because there are a couple of family playbooks that stood out to me when I was thinking about it. But, like, the Failed Guardians kind of sound interesting in that light, right? If they were, like, the Failed Guardians, like, they were supposed to keep the world safe and they failed, and then they're just escaping or something. Except, actually, that maybe that doesn't work because that's kind of where they end up in the trilogy. So maybe I don't want to double play that.
So how do I open this and it not be complete gobbledygook?
What is it looking like when you open it?
It doesn't look good.
Are you opening it in Google Docs?
Yeah.
Just with you're on a laptop or a PC?
Yep. It looks like half of each page is on each.
Oh.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's the kind of file. It's weird.
Go up to the top, and it should have a little box that says "Open with," and try opening that with something else, like a connected app. Lumen PDF works sometimes.
Okay.
Where are the family playbooks? There we go.
Which one is the? Maybe I shouldn't just play what I always play. Never mind.
The Lawgivers?
No. I'm trying to remember what the stats do. Reach is like taking things, right? No, grasp is taking things. Reach is like knowing things, and sleight is like intrigue stuff, right? I can't remember what the stats do.
Let me look.
Because I was gonna just play a super. Actually, never mind. I have to play super tough guys. Darn, that's rough. Oof. So sad about that.
Let's see. Yeah, claiming by force is something you roll grasp to do. Subterfuge is something to roll slight to do.
Okay.
And what's the other one?
Reach, it says.
And reach. What is reach? Reach represents your family's influence in the wider world. You roll reach to conduct a diplomacy.
Okay.
So reach is diplomacy, grasp is force, slight is misdirection.
So I can either be violent and kind of just violent, or I can be violent and sneaky, or violent and nice, apparently, is my options. Interesting, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to choose what this family is, because I'm not really entirely sure what they're gonna look like.
For what? I'm sorry.
The Israelites.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So are we going like how off the rails? Are we gonna have like powers and?
Yep. Pretty much completely off the
I
rails.
think
is totally
science
fine.
fantasy. is
Yeah,
what we're
science
shooting
fantasy
for.
is the feel we're shooting for, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Is Space Jesus a thing?
So I don't know what you mean by that.
What?
Do you mean like Elysian Road Space Jesus?
Well,
There
in
is
every
a
universe
god.
has its own space.
The
Jesus.
god. Okay, so a god that is basically exactly the same as our god, except basically actual god exists in this setting. That is one setting specific thing about this thing. Pretty much, more or less. Like our actual god. And he's going to basically divinely speak to the family that I'm playing and lead them to do something. So I'm trying to find a playbook that fits that.
Do we have like a character sheet we fill out, or do we have?
You know what? Actually, that was something I was just gonna do. I'm gonna make a Roll20 game real quick.
Okay.
So you guys can fill that out on
Start
there.
marking things down.
Yep.
So are we playing as individuals or?
So you are
groups of-
each of you are making basically what amounts to a faction, and then for each era you make a character that you will play during that era. The character can die, and you can make another one. Basically, the characters are really fluid, but usually you make a character based off of the faction that you're controlling. Basically, it's like you zoom in and out based on whether or not you're doing large scale things with your faction or miniature scale things with specific characters, which is should be helpful and conducive to us having people come in and out of it.
One of my options for how do you fight is a ring of power. It just explodes things, apparently. That's sick.
Which ones are you looking at again, David?
Good stuff for the Deathless Elite. Oh yeah, I gotta read their moves. What's a redoubt? Or is that how you say that?
Doubt. It's like doubt, but
Yeah.
it's doubt, but it happens the second time, or it's in a response to a doubt, so it's a redoubt.
It makes it sound like a place, but I don't.
Right.
Is
So
it
a redoubt
spelled like
would be
redoubt?
like a
temporary or supplementary fortification.
that.
Oh.
What he said.
Okay. Dude, this is gonna be ridiculous. Okay. You have to have like a super dangerous thing just creeping around in your base, I guess. Apparently.
nice.
That's sick.
All right, so I linked the campaign game or the campaign link. And I'll go ahead and make character sheets for each of you. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what was the last thing you said, Caleb?
I said I'm making character sheets for all of you right now,
Oh, cool. Thank you.
and the link is in chat. And don't feel like you have to fill out the character sheet, except for David.
What? I have a move to throw parties?
I can help you run through it. You
I
have
have
a
a move where if I throw parties and people don't come, they lose 2 treaty on me.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
I'm really excited to see that, David. See what you come up with for our Egyptian overlords.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Because it kind of, I'm glad you like wanted to play that because it fits so perfectly into the aesthetic that I had already hoped for.
Yeah, it does. Well, I've been watching the second season of Altered Carbon, and so I've been sort of like I've had that on my mind, and then it's like, yeah, you can just play deathless overlords. I was like, what? Sounds great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what?
I'm trying to decide if Servants of the One True Faith would work. I feel like they're too weird.
Sounds. What do they do?
So let's see. Yeah, I feel like they're too religious. Because I want this faction to be like, they get a word from God and they're like, why are we the ones who are like, I literally want it to be really, the feel to be, there is a, like the character playbook that I end up playing for one of them will definitely be like a Moses type prophet sort of person. But the faction itself probably won't be like a bunch of priests.
Yeah, is there not just like the working rabble people thing?
You know what?
Like the working insurrection or whatever. Like I feel like there has to be one of those, right?
Yeah, I feel like there was. Let me see if I can find.
I'd be shocked
where
if
it was. I think it was in Engine of Life. The Syndicate of the Lost.
That's pretty sick.
It is pretty sick.
Oh, they don't have the extra playbooks on the character sheet, doesn't look like.
Oh, they don't?
At least I don't see mine on here. And the list is too short, yeah. Which is bad because it doesn't even generate your character sheet without it.
Oh, that is bad.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's me.
Yeah, I know. I accidentally clicked back. Awful. I wonder if I just pick one. Oh yeah, it has all your moves. Yeah. Oof. Okay.
That's not good.
Yeah, that is problematic. Is there like another sheet that you can pick from the list when you create the game that has the other games in it? Maybe?
No.
No. Well, could just make like Google Docs. Because I mean,
most of this sheet can still be useful.
True.
But you might have to write in the other stuff in like bio and info.
I mean, we can still roll the dice and stuff, so we might as well pick one and just do that. But
yeah.
Otherwise, it might just be easier to have a docs separate doc to reference for your actual stuff, because you
Yeah.
have like even like check marks and stuff on it. So
Yeah, so if you end up playing a sheet from Endgame or Engine of Life, they don't have the specifics
right.
for it on the actual sheet. So I'll have to probably write it separately, which is unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. But those do take quite some time to make, especially that. Like that's pretty involved. The way that they chose to make that sheet.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I may be able to put a request in to get
Yeah,
those in.
it's a good idea.
Who maintains those?
It depends
Coders,
on the sheet,
who
I
feels
think.
like doing it. Yeah, they're all like, I mean, you can pay someone stupid amounts of money to make one, but if you just put in a request, sometimes people will make them. Yeah, there's people on Roll20 that like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing right now? Right, okay. Brain's not working. What are we calling this? Or at least right now. I'm gonna make a folder for it.
The remnants for now, but it probably won't be that.
The remnants for now. I like it.
No, just the remnant.
Just the
Josh.
remnant. Got it.
Okay, let's see.
Wouldn't it make more sense the other direction? Remnant the just.
The remnant, the just, yeah.
What?
Oh, you can't include the V in there twice, otherwise you end up sounding like you're tripping on words. Just the
Hi, Glenn. Everybody have any idea what they're playing yet?
Syndicate of the Lost,
Just out
I
of
think, is
curiosity.
what I'll do, but I'm looking around still.
Anybody else have any idea?
Maybe the Failed Guardians.
Ooh,
cool.
yeah, that'd be cool. That seems up your alley.
Super not how you wait, no, that is how you spell the word threat. Man, my brain.
THRETT.
Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, dude, I spelled that so wrong. And then I looked at it again and I was like, no, that's how you spell it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It seems like the Syndicate of the Lost is probably the best fit so far, but I'm also not necessarily super into the playbook itself.
Oh, that's too bad.
So I'm trying to think about this a little bit more and see if there's something.
Well, there's a lot of options. It might be a better one.
I know, yeah, that's what I'm looking around at.
Is there really not like a working class one?
That's the Syndicate of the Lost.
Oh, it is.
But
That
it's
seems like a
not.
crazy name for it.
Well, so the Syndicate of the Lost is like the common people, right? It's like
Oh, okay.
the masses, which is
Huh.
very
Suppose.
thematically appropriate for if you're
Yeah.
gonna play
Right.
Israel as slaves, right? Like,
That's true. Yeah.
I'm just not
Whoa.
necessarily. I don't know if I want to play that exactly. Probably should be though.
When you, for your doctrine, it says that every character starts with an extra move or a +1 to a stat, but they must choose one, and then there's 3 options. Is that like I pick one for all of my characters, or do I pick one each time I make a character? I don't even know if every class has a doctrine, but I think they do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Let me look at. I'm gonna find it real quick.
Pardon, sorry.
Okay.
Deathless Elite. Doctrine. Every deathless character starts with an extra move or +1 to a stat, but they must choose one.
I don't know if that's like choose one for them in general, or if it's
I think it's one every time you make a deathless character.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
What is?
One of the things you can pick for your special base is that its ever-shifting halls can take you to the dark places of this world and beyond.
That's cool.
So it's like a building with warp capabilities. Basically, you just walk to another planet. Like, that's super sick.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I have to give up the ability to keep out any external threat for it, so I'm salty about that. But
Oh, let's see. Okay. Sins Key to the Lost. And I think we should be if any of you are like actually going through the character sheet, we should probably be sharing our choices as we go, just because it will help us all like get something more cohesive between all of us. Because a lot of this is like stuff that happened before the fall and stuff like that.
I haven't chosen any of that stuff yet because I figured we'll probably. My thought was that I would go through and do all the things that just ask questions of me, and then once I have an idea of who they are, we could go through the questions that ask like other people's stuff or stuff that affects other people.
Yeah, that's good.
Because right now I don't have any idea who they are really. I mean, I kind of do. But...
Yeah, I think when you say kind of lost. The tagline or the quote for them is, "No one is coming to save us. If we're going to survive this, we will need to save each other. It has to start somewhere. What better place than here? What better time than now?"
Famous last words.
I know, right? Exactly.
Now we can pick our own stuff for this, like assets thing, right?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
I have to use one of the options they give me?
Pretty sure.
But I can't, like, retheme them?
Yeah,
you
can
care
retheme
about picking the tags, but...
Yeah, I think they had the tags probably have to stay the same, but you can retheme them.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Oh, this is perfect. The Syndicate of the Lost has a move called Hell Can't Stop Us. And it says, when you make a grand collective effort to create a wonder, you can invest surplus leadership or morale without erasing it. So that's like, that perfectly plays into the whole let's build a generation ship thing.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
That was cool.
So what is reach, grasp, and slight?
reach is diplomacy. Grasp is like force, military might, and sleight is like misdirection, deceit, those sorts of things. But yeah, refrain from making any choices that actually like change the setting until we kind of all have settled on a playbook.
Okay.
Because we'll want to talk about those. Yeah, I'm really excited to see like a whole bunch of mini stories in this setting. Like that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
Kind of see a sprawling, evolving setting with a bunch of smaller stories. And I think we're just gonna have to like be willing to, if we happen to like stop in the middle of a bigger thing, and then we get to the next session and you know we can't continue that storyline, be okay with just like either just leaving it for then or you know just being flexible with the way the storylines function and how the characters appear and disappear.
If you can't make it, you die of a heart attack.
And in this game, that would totally be reasonable and not something I would be overly salty about.
Yeah.
Although, after like the 10th character died of a heart attack, we might have to start looking for the guy with the death note.
Yes.
So I'm trying to decide if I should have a plane with a turret on it or bodyguards.
Are you making the character already?
No, this is answering the assets question.
Oh, yeah.
How do you travel or what useful expertise? I either want bodyguards or I want
Wasn't that a character still?
plane. No. The characters just have access to these things because my
Basically,
action
it's like you
does.
can always have these things when your character is out and about in the world.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna take the Death on Wings thing and call it a chariot because it's just appropriately.
Yes. That is so good.
Alright. I'm definitely gonna take the move that lets me have a character that comes back whenever I want. Age after
Unless
age.
you have a what?
A character who can come back whenever I feel like it, age after age.
Yes.
It's literally immortal.
That's perfect.
Nice.
What's so cool about this too is we have all these factions, right? That are probably like pretty, you know, they seem like they're pretty one note in a lot of cases. But the way the characters work, you can literally make any playbook of a character
Right.
in that faction. And I mean, technically, I feel like you guys could also make characters from different factions if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
For whatever one shot we did or whatever, right?
Right.
And so you could literally have someone who's part of the Deathless Elite, technically, but is a rebel against the Deathless Elite and doesn't like them, right?
Right.
Like, it's
Yeah.
totally easy to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
because there's different roles that you play in when you make these characters and different relationships to the faction you can
Yeah.
have. You don't always have to be I am a loyal member of the faction.
Mhm.
So you can literally like just undermine yourself if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think that the general idea is that you play a character who wants to do good things for your faction, but maybe has different ideas for how to accomplish those goals from some of the other people in the faction. So
Right. Because no matter who you play, they have sort of the year of the faction, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Because you're
in,
making
in some
decisions for
some
them.
capacity, and there's different roles that you
Yeah.
can take. Beyond just the playbooks, there's like different roles
Right.
and relationships you can have to the factions. You could literally be a person who's like exiled from the faction. You don't have I think
Right.
there's like the rules for like what you get
Yeah.
access to and stuff. But
That's interesting.
Josh, you've been making faces over there.
Sorry.
No, I'm curious what you're thinking.
Well, tell me what you're thinking.
It's
Oh, just a
it's
meme or
chat.
something.
it's
Oh.
chat in the game.
Okay.
I'm gathering and I'm contemplating the kind of faction I want to put together. I'm
Yeah.
not totally sold on these Doomsday Riders.
The card creation or the session 0 stuff.
Okay, so real quick then, Xander has his place.
Yeah, I'm not totally sold on the Doomsday Riders. They've got some elements I like and some that it's just I'm not totally sure that I'm like I'd be not sure if I'm willing to play the people holding the axe over everyone's heads. As cool as that kind of sounds, I don't know how well I could play it.
What faction were you considering? Sorry, Connor was talking to me.
Doomsday Riders.
Yeah.
Considering it, but I'm not sure how well I could play that holding the axe over the head kind of character. Or not even character, faction.
Mhm.
Like, because I'd be committing to a characters of a certain persuasion.
Well, and it was like he said, if you get through a spot and like for one, like maybe your faction's not involved in a scene, or if your it is involved, but you want to play a character from a different faction, I'm pretty sure that's an option.
Yeah.
So like you don't
Oh, it
have to play
is,
them
okay.
every time.
You don't always have to be the person with the axe over everybody's head.
Oh, sure, but I guess
And also, yeah.
But
holding
yeah,
on to that,
if you don't
I
want
would
to,
want to
that's
hold
fine.
on to that. Would want to hold on to the same story, the same general
Yeah.
direction.
General direction, yeah.
For a character.
Yep.
And if I end up not liking the general direction my faction ends up needing to take, then I'm kind
Yeah.
of stuck going, oh, I'll tell mom
And the
all game
convenient
long.
the convenient part about this sort of setup is you could probably, if you don't like your faction, be like, okay, they all die. I'm gonna make a new faction. I feel like we could probably manage that.
Mhm.
Or even just like, okay, I'm gonna play somebody else and we can kind of community manage this faction or whatever. I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't be too hard to pull off if you really don't like them when you get done with them.
Sure.
But I mean, if you just want to pick a different one, that's obviously fine. I'm just saying, I think like I don't think you have to worry too much about being like, oh, I ended up with one I don't like. Like
Okay,
5
that's
sessions in,
That's fair.
Okay, I need some help picking what my base can do. Does it give me a sprawling halls filled with lavishing feasts, or does it have vanishing gardens that provide solace? Because both sound awesome.
They
And
do.
I'm not really sure which direction I'm going with these guys yet. I don't know if
Go
they're
with the
like
feasts.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Yep.
But
I like the answer. Okay, now my defense
lavish feasts.
either has an automatic, it's an uncontrollable defense. Either has automatic turrets that just kill with brutal precision, or it has mists that lead the unwary astray. Both are awesome. I don't know. Based on the
Yeah, that's
vanishing
pretty cool.
gardens, I think maybe the mists. Now my last one is a lurking threat, and I don't know. It can be either curse, a monster, or a genius loci, whatever that is. I don't even know what that is. Guarding a key location. What is a loci?
A loci is the plural form of locus, and locus is a particular position, point, or place.
Wait, but what?
Say
A
read it.
genius loci is guarding a key location. Sounds like it's something guarding a
Yeah, that
location.
doesn't make any sense
Yeah,
to me.
that's weird.
Oh, wait a second. This is an actual thing. Oh, it's a minor deity or spirit watching over a particular place.
Oh. All right, I'm going with that. Okay, I think
It's like
I've
a
got a
thing
pretty
from
good idea.
mythology.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good idea of who these characters are now. Okay.
That's cool. Carl, do you have any ideas?
Probably gonna do the Serene Quiet. Like, I still can't get Rule 20 to load the game. Like,
That's
Oh,
weird.
really?
But you
My
probably don't
internet-
have your
it's not my
character sheet
internet or
anyways
anything.
on there. Like they probably don't have your playbook. Because when I went to mine,
Yeah,
they
you
didn't
technically
have my
won't
playbook to
need it
pick.
really that much for now. You can just open a Google Doc up and write down things as we go. It'll probably work better anyway. Because it sounds like all of us are probably not going to choose playbooks that are in the original book. And you're doing the failed guardians, Jared? Did Jared leave?
No, I'm here.
Oh, are you doing the failed guardians?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Okie dokie. Well, why don't we just take this step by step with everyone then, and fill in all the
Okay.
places. So everybody probably wants to have a Google Doc open because the character sheets actually won't work for this. And just write this down as we go. So first you choose your stats, and this is right. It gives you like setting specific things about your faction that will determine your statistics. David, what did you choose? Or did
I
you
did
not
not choose
choose
that
something?
yet because
Yeah.
that was one of the background questions.
Okay.
But we can talk about that right now.
Yeah, do you want to? Let's go for yours first.
Sure. Yeah. So the options I have are: if the Before's elite transcended the world and watch it burn, then I get 0 reach and sleight and 1 grasp. If the ravenous appetites of the Before's elite caused the fall, I get -1 reach, +1 grasp, and +1 sleight. And if the philanthropists among the Before's elite averted extinction, reach +1, grasp +1, sleight -1. So I honestly don't have a super big preference because no matter what, I get grasp +1.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really.
What was the first one again?
They transcended the world and watched it burn.
Right. So basically, we have the choice between they just were separate from the fall, they caused the
it,
fall,
or they
or
averted it.
they were the only reason that the fall didn't completely destroy everyone.
Right. Which I feel like the first one, where they just watched it burn, sort of fits what I've come up with, but also doesn't make sense for them to have a slave. Like, it feels so departed from it that it doesn't really make sense for them to have the sort of role that we want them to have. So
I'm leaning towards they caused the fall.
yeah, I think that makes the most
Yeah.
sense.
Everybody
given
cool with
the
that?
Sort of
That
what
David's
we've-
Deathless Elite caused the fall.
Mhm.
Awesome. Josh, what's your choices? Have
I'm-
you settled on a playbook yet?
I'm still not sold.
Oh, okay.
I want to. Eldritch Servants sounds cool.
Yeah.
sound pretty cool.
Actually, Eldritch Servants sound really cool.
I mean, wow, like Deathless Elite, Eldritch Servants, the Serene Choir, the Last
Yeah.
Guardians, and the Syndicate of the Lost. That's a pretty
I
cool
think
bunch.
that the Eldritch thing might actually work well with mine as well because I have the reason that we're sort of immortal-ish, being sort of an arcane, like otherworldly thing, and
Mhm.
so it could be connected if we wanted to be, or could not be. But that's like a potential thing.
Yeah. What do you think?
Chance to read through some of the options on here, and then let
Go someone else?
you go through it with someone else, yes, please.
Okay. Carly, what are your choices for stats? I can't hear you.
Haven't even looked at that.
So it should be the first thing that comes up in the creating your playbook or whatever.
Oh my gosh. No matter what I pick for style, we turn into like weird bondage people. What
Perfect.
the heck? What is happening?
Oh boy.
My options are black velvets, lace, fishnets, and tinged leathers, or animal masks, diaphanous smart materials, and heavy jewelry, which I guess isn't really about it. Or,
David, you need to be a kingdom of furries.
wait for it.
No.
Black rubber and latex, dripping in hooks and chains.
Oh
Yes.
my. Oh,
Not doing any of
Bondage
those.
furries.
They all sound
no,
horrible.
stop, Jared.
Just they
Making
sound
it
like
worse,
the worst
Jared.
thing.
So much worse.
Okay, I
Just
don't know
go
what
with
any
better.
of these mean.
You want to read them out?
We'll compromise. I'll go with pasties and loincloths. Kidding, not doing that.
Okay, good.
I already played that character.
You did. You did play that character. Good old Nightlight.
hmm
Oof.
What? I can be psychic? How does that even work?
What do yours say, Carly?
If you crashed into the homeland in a broken shard of the Presence's realm, if tears in the star-filled skies dropped you screaming to the earth, if you stumbled blind out of the... I don't know how to read that word. Caverns
Yikes.
under the homeland.
Man, it's rough for you no matter what you pick.
Yeah, let's. These are an engine of life, I believe, right? Yeah. Here, let me open it up and see if I can help you out with discerning that, because that is pretty esoteric. Let's see. It's a serene choir. See, you used to live lives of perfect grace, following the will of the presence. Then came the fall, and the presence died or left you, or you were exiled in a world you are no longer sure of. You must find out for yourself what is virtuous and worth cherishing. See, if you crash into the homeland in a broken shard of the presence's realm. So basically, if you were in heaven and a piece of heaven fell to earth with you on it, with your people on it, if tears in the star-filled skies dropped you screaming to the earth,
That's such a cool. That reminds me of.
So poetic. You could take that in any way you really want.
Yeah.
Anyway, but in a lot of ways.
That reminds me of.
I mean, that's the whole thing with the Tannerin, honestly. That's the Tannerin coming down in the
Yeah.
as asteroids.
But the way they described it reminds me of Starsight, or not Starsight. The first one. Well, both.
Skyward.
Skyward and Starsight. Yeah, sort of the way they describe the eyes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
If you stumbled blind out of the chthonic caverns under the homeland. What does that word mean? Let's find out.
Spell it.
Chthonic. Phonic.
T.
Concerning, belonging to, or inhabiting the underworld.
Oh.
Out of the so if
Okay.
you stumbled blind out of the caverns of the underworld under the
Oh
homeland.
my.
I mean, okay,
So
so
I
let's
can come from heaven or from hell.
yeah, I mean, literally. Okay,
Literally,
so
yeah.
let's talk about this, Carly. Do you want these people? Are the Serene Choir like? Are
Is that what
they
you're calling them?
the Serene Choir? Is the playbook name? Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Are they? Do they work? Is the presence God, or is the presence Satan, or
I'm already doing Eldritch though.
True.
Yeah. I think it would be really cool if you guys were if you're like basically literally like angelic beings that like served God, and maybe not necessarily that you're like exiled, but maybe like sent here for a specific purpose. I'm interested to see what the interaction between the Serene Choir and the Syndicate of the Lost looks like, right?
Mhm.
Like maybe you're the messengers of the Lord, right? Come to help us. So yeah, which one of those choices then do you think? This will also choose your statistics, right? Too. So, reach is diplomacy, grasp is military might, and sleight is like subterfuge. So, which do you want to be?
Then probably the second one would make more
Yeah.
sense for that concept.
I'm thinking so too. Yeah.
But they're really supposed to be. The playbook's really designed for them to be like out of favor, right?
You used to live lives of perfect grace, following the will of the presence. Then came the fall, and the presence died or left you, or you were exiled. In a world you're no longer sure of, you must find out for yourself what is virtuous and worth cherishing. So I think it's probably like, you're not necessarily demons, but you're like angelic beings that have been sent here and disconnected somehow, right?
I feel like if a bunch of divine proselytizers landed on my planet, I wouldn't be super happy about that as the deathless elite. So that might be why you're not. Like, I don't feel like the people in charge would like you very much.
So okay, so in universe reason I think for this. So I think in the setting, God has kind of chosen a particular galaxy to be his domain, and this place, this world, is outside of that. And so I think these angelic beings were sent from that other galaxy to here, and so you're disconnected from the magic that suffuses that galaxy.
Maybe they're here to come get the Israelites or whatever.
I think kind of, right? And you can come up with all sorts of interesting ways. Like, these people could have forgotten why they're here, or just have little fragments of what they remember what they're supposed to do, or maybe people just don't listen to them. Like, something should obviously be off about, like, they can't just come down from the sky and be like, yes, we're angels, listen to us, because it doesn't work like that with the setting that we have. But yeah, you're disconnected from the power of the presence. So you want to choose 2 then, if tears in the star-filled skies drop you screaming to the earth. So note the fact that you dropped screaming to the earth, and that your reach is 2, your grasp is 0, and your sleight is -1. Yeah, I'm super into that. That's a really cool concept. Jared, what does your stat choices say?
For the history thing?
Yeah, the like, if you did this, if you...
Okay.
Yeah, the first
wait, no, crap, which one?
It right at the beginning, it should say creating this playbook, and then stats, choose one.
Okay, I was looking wrong.
There's like 3 choices there.
Yep. All right. So if the Guardians had contingencies in place for the fall, the Guardians failed to predict and prepare. They failed to predict or prepare for the fall, or if the Guardians had weaponized the seed of the fall, which I was thinking of doing that one.
They weaponized the seed of the fall.
Yeah.
So let's think about what exactly that means. So basically,
did we decide what caused it?
We decided that the Deathless Elite were definitely part of the cause of what happened. They were probably messing.
It was our how do they say it? Our appetites that caused it.
Yeah.
Basically, we're the like I said, we're the Eldar from Warhammer 40K.
Tried to summon furry demons.
We gave birth to an evil demon god.
That's what you get for summoning furry succubus.
Yep, I mean.
So Jared, you're basically saying you tried to use the same powers that they were messing with?
Or whatever they brought, we tried to weaponize, but ultimately failed.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay. So basically, you failed to be the Guardians because the seed of the end of the fall came, and you used it. You used the One Ring instead of destroying it. Is basically the idea.
We're Boromir.
Yeah. I'm totally into that. That's super cool.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, so note that on your character sheet. And the stat. On your Google Doc that you'll probably have to make. Because the problem is the character sheets in Roll20 don't have spaces for any of the playbooks that are outside of the main ones.
Okay.
So they have to make a Google Doc and just list all of this.
How do I've never done a Google Doc before.
You can also just do Word, probably.
Or just, a document somewhere.
Something you can get to.
Yeah.
I have a Word pad.
That works for now, I guess, yeah. Josh, you have any ideas?
I really like the idea of eldritch servants,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there seems to be a lot of overlap of like dark forces and a lot of supernatural going on. So,
I mean, I'm fine with that, but
like, it's not that I'm not fine with it. It's more that
you might want to kind of stretch
my
into a different
vision
area.
of what eldritch means has significant implications for the cosmology that I don't know
Right.
if you want them or not.
Yeah.
Right?
What are you thinking?
Like the great
Well,
old
the-
ones kind of theme.
The convenient thing is, like Caleb said, this technically is outside of the galaxy that
Yeah.
his stuff will happen in, so you can do pretty
Yeah,
much
I'm honestly
anything.
pretty fine with that. There's supposed to be a lot of. I mean, basically the idea is the whole like ancient old ones thing. That fits perfectly into a number of demonic sort of things that I'm sure are going on somewhere in this universe. And so yeah, we can flavor that however we want, and it could be a smaller piece of this larger, vaster like yes, all of these demons are all evil and stuff. But yeah, dark old ones can definitely be a part of that bigger picture.
Okay. Hmm.
But yeah, if you want to do something else, you can totally do that too. I can do mine right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a good handle on exactly. It's like I definitely kind of want to go all Lovecraftian.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Also, I think that Lovecraftian will be a really cool visual counterpart to how I plan to sort of the visual part of my characters if you go with the sort of typical dark weirdness. Because I think there's going to be a lot of sun imagery with my people because they're sort of playing off of Egyptians.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was
a cool
gonna
visual
go-
thing.
I was gonna go, typical evil cult kind of theme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Darkness and sacrifices and robes and
Sweet.
It'd be
Caleb,
fun contrast.
Caleb, is there a place I can find the tags for what things do in weapons? Because one of my weapons options has the aberrant tag, and I know what that means as a word, but I don't know what it means as a weapon.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
Are you having fun there, giggly butt? Yeah. Whoa, what is this? The Hunter, the Devourer. What is this super awesome, like, weird aliens doc you have in here? The Hunter, the Devourer, Builder. They're like all creepy aliens.
What are you looking at?
Parasite. It's one of the documents you have in here. It's just a bunch of cool looking aliens. The Otherworldly. Ancient. The Chosen. This is cool.
Where is it?
It's in your Google Doc file that you sent us. It's just one of the random ones. It has the front just says the Hunter and it has this big green guy with a bow on it.
Are you talking about one of the PDFs?
Yeah, one of the PDFs in the folder you sent us. I'm just trying to figure out what game this is. It's just a whole bunch of classes for aliens.
Oh
It's
yeah,
cool.
the Primal Pathways. Yeah.
that's what it is,
Primal
okay.
Pathways is basically like Spore, except with gods.
What? That's so cool.
Basically a bunch of like god aliens, just like guide the evolution of species.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Man, they have so many cool ideas for this game. Anyways, sorry. Right, yes, weapon
Yeah,
tags,
I'm trying to
those
find
ones.
it right now.
Sorry, I get so distracted. Where's the basic?
I found it. Uses something other than kinetic force to hurt your enemies. Sound waves,
Oh.
radiation, psionics, etc.
Perfect. Okay, so my voice lights the air on fire. Is that okay? With you?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
just all the time or
No,
only
that would be
specific
stupid.
instances?
Yeah, you can't talk.
Yep, I
Without
speak and your
burning
brain
someone.
melts.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, but
My
that's
bad.
such a cool visual for like a cult leader or something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they kill people on purpose. They just don't always do that, or they wouldn't be able to talk.
Words of power. But like imagine a cult leader that's given the power that when they speak, all it is, when they speak, it's it's like death or poison or some
Yeah.
kind of weapon of some sort or fire. And so they're not, as part of them becoming the cult leader, they're no longer allowed to speak.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, I had one of my characters in one of my superhero thing, one of like the really bad guys from a long time ago, whose power was literally to light his sound waves on fire. And so if he screamed and you could hear it, you burned up. It was, yeah. And I basically have that option as one of my weapons. So I was like, dude.
But yeah, Josh and David, I'm totally cool with seeing like two different aberrant demonic forces like fighting with each other. I'm interested to see the contrasts and stuff from that.
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
pretty excited for this this thing. This is gonna be cool.
I have constantly thought about this game since I knew of its existence. It's just so cool.
They have really clever stuff. Like they're very creative.
The Eldritch Servants are pretty cool because they all start with 0 and everything, but based on your choice, you get to roll one of those always with advantage.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know what that means in the system, but it's cool.
I don't remember what it means in the system either, but do you want to read those off, Josh?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Choose one.
So my options are choose what the Eldritch powers are. Behemoth gods older than time. You always roll reach with advantage. Monstrous species from the world's secret places. You always roll grasp with advantage. Or dark forces from beyond this world. You always roll sleight with advantage.
So, what are your Eldritch powers?
I like the idea of behemoth gods older than time.
Yeah.
Because that's just kind of, that's got the scope and the spookiness of it. I could also see dark forces look like.
Yeah.
Dark forces from beyond this world could be interesting to play with too.
But the thing you'll have to think about is how this flavors the way you interact with the other people. Because reach means diplomacy, right? That's like, if you serve the behemoth gods older than time, you're like a bunch of worm tongues, basically, right? Like, we're going to go ahead and diplomatize all these people. Dark forces from beyond this world is a little bit more Cthulhu-ish. And then,
Can I just say, it would be super awesome to translate the part about how when God created Earth, there was nothing but darkness on the face of the earth, to being there was nothing but like darkness, as in these Cthulhu things, and he just like, go away, and smacks the Cthulhu
paves
gods
them
away.
over, paves them
with
over
light.
with some water. Just paves them over with light.
Yeah, there was darkness, then there was light. Bam, they're
Paves
dead.
them over with light, and in the years and years since creation, in the eons since creation, people haven't been maintaining the roads. And now there are cracks in the pavement.
Oh my gosh.
That is
potholes.
So good, Josh.
And potholes where you can find
I'm so
festering
down with
spots
that.
Man.
of
I mean, that
Eldritch
honestly
Parties are
darkness.
expensive.
kind of great
alright?
with some of the stuff on my sheet, so.
That a lot.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
I do like it being like the byproduct of the world coming into existence. It's just this mass of dark monsters. And the deity's just like, and I'm just gonna pave over this. Nobody will see them. And so they're left to fester in their own vileness.
Their own dark dimension.
Okay, so that kind of would mean monstrous species from the world's secret places. Could be cool.
Honestly, I could see any 3 of those as that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Behemoth gods older than time, monstrous species from the world's secret places kind of means like this world, I think is the idea,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Instead of dimensions.
Right.
Dark forces from beyond this world or behemoth gods older than time is probably what you're looking for.
Yeah.
My vote is dark forces from beyond this world. I think
Dark forces is so vague. It's hard to put a particular visual on it, and I like to have really visual systems and classes. Which is why I'm leaning towards going with behemoth gods.
Yeah, if you do that,
because it's a pretty easy one to visualize.
What you will probably end up doing is being directly opposed to the Serene Choir, right? You got your guys' people will be like constantly butting heads because you're both going to try to diplomatize and get people to join with you, And one's gonna be like, yeah, we serve dark behemoth gods
Yeah.
all the time. And
On
no,
the landmark section of mine, 2 of the options are offenders sentenced to immortal suffering now escaped and hellbent on revenge, and an earlier creation of the presence fundamentally flawed and incredibly potent. So either one of those would, I
that's
think,
really cool.
That actually leans more toward the dark forces than the behemoth gods, because the
Right.
behemoth gods would be like opposing forces to the deity itself. So I think I like the idea of going with dark forces.
Yeah.
Dark forces paved over by light.
Yes. Super
Misbegotten, unfinished creations.
So rolling with advantage means that this is a powered by the apocalypse, so you roll 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you roll 3d6 and you take the 2 highest.
Okay.
And you always do that whenever you roll slight. Cool. And so my choices are, if the masses were exiled from the before's utopia, then I get a reach -1, grasp +1, slight +1. If the masses were kept under the boot of the before's dystopia, reach 0, grasp 0, slight +1. If the masses were kept in check by the many pleasures of the before, reach 0, grasp -1, slight +2. I think I'm leaning towards if the masses were exiled from the before's utopia. So I think basically what happened, right, with the deathless elites was you guys just continued expanding your horrible empire, and we opposed you at some point, or just tried to be like no, or maybe even just left, right? Because of the utopia that you were building did not have space for just the common people, because everyone needed to be these immortal god beings who controlled everything. And they had ascended beyond even slaves, sort of a thing, right? And then so they were just like exiles from this perfect utopia and were forced to just make their way in some other place. And now what's happening is the deathless elite, I mean, it's the apocalypse. They don't have the resources they once did, and now maybe they need slaves. And now they're seeking to reclaim the masses as their slaves.
Yeah.
We down with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, I have I already picked my needs, and one of them, the engineering, progress, and defenses were my needs. So that makes sense. Is
you used to have
things
a robotic infrastructure, probably,
need,
right?
Right, and I would need people to give me those things now, because
Yeah.
all I have is leadership and rare materials. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm down with
cool. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and so that means I have a reach -1, grasp +1, and slight +1. I'm down with that. It kind of gives them a slightly kind of subterfuge, rebellion, militaristic sort of vibe,
sure.
which I'm into. I don't want them to be super they're just a bunch of covert ops, but
Right.
having +1 grasp and slight, I think, is cool with me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's move on to traditions. David,
Yes.
did you already choose these?
I think so. I picked all but style because I didn't like any of the style options. So I'll figure out the style. But what I have is populace is direct descendants competing to earn immortality.
Nice.
And the governance is the demanding voices in their head. So because they're all direct descendants, basically we just speak into their brains, which sort of also works with the voice projecting weapon.
So basically it's literal Egyptian ancestors, their ancestors speak to them in their brains. They're ascended
Except
consciousnesses.
They're mostly all still alive to some degree or another.
Right.
Actually, it looks like really they die, but then they are ghosts. That seems to be a big thing about this. I didn't pick any of the ghost options, but there's lots of ghost things. So yeah, it's probably basically.
I mean, what if it's a whole bunch of people who transcended their consciousness into computers or whatever, right?
Yeah,
and,
pretty much.
Right. They speak to them from there.
Yeah. And then I didn't pick style because they were all weird.
What are your options for style?
Those
right.
are the ones
you
I read.
those,
yeah. So I'm gonna pick something else. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Josh, what are you thinking for traditions?
Okay, so for populace, my options are a jaded and cynical rich from yore, outcasts from an ethnic minority,
Scientists or artists driven sane by occult findings. And I'm going to dial that third one in, and it's going to be
Yeah.
artists driven insane by occult findings.
Yes.
I read a series of books once. For the life of me, I don't remember what they were called, but they were basically about people flying in like airships and going up to the edge of the stratosphere and like encountering whole world up there in the clouds, and then eventually going beyond
Mm-hmm.
in like a space elevator kind of deal. And they had the concept of the music of the spheres as being this
like
sort
literal
of
thing.
song, like a literal music of sorts that you could hear upon leaving the atmosphere and entering space.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily want to play directly with the whole got to go out to space to do it, but I want to play around with the idea of the music of the spheres.
Yeah.
And the more they each can hear
Like the
this-
music beyond the like our physical dimension, right? Like
right,
this
this
other
music
dimension,
from
this
beyond
other
the
place.
dimension, and it's driven them to seek out like the composers and painters and 3D modelers, and they're all these various artists who've kind of all hit the same chord at one point or another that have and it's the sound of these eldritch horrors buried beneath the veneer of the world.
Yeah. Totally down with that.
From that, style is as you'd expect from your populace, but either immaculate or disheveled. I think I'm going to disheveled on that one.
Yeah. Perfect. Literally a bunch of starving artists, except they found Cthulhu demons in another dimension.
Oh gosh.
I'm imagining that Felix Urbane would fit very nicely in this cult. In the cult of artists that serve a dark power.
Felix from which one?
From Mistborn.
Oh,
Okay, Gwen.
was that? Hang on. Like from the books themselves, or from my Mistborn adventure?
No,
game?
from the game that we did. Yeah, your character.
My character.
Yeah.
Yes, the sociopath. He was a painter, right?
Sociopathic painter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Who was a
Oh,
soother? Who was a twinborn who had soothing and duralumin like connection.
Yes.
Harukimi.
Yes. That's right, because he painted with the colors of people's. Oh,
Yeah,
it was such a fun character to
It
visualize.
was so fun.
He had such a strong visual to him.
I'm imagining a Felix-like character who's a musician and like hears weird music, and the like
Mhm.
that could definitely be a character that would fit in with this cult.
And then governance. This
Mhm.
one was cool. Your true masters are something different from your rank and file. When you pick a doctrine option, also pick one of the other two to be your masters. For example, if your family is mainly arcane cultists, their true leader may be monstrous servants or members of a twisted bloodline. So that's directly tied in with the doctrine here. So like arcane cultists, you use the power's knowledge for power. Always count boxes next to pride and wealth, as if they held a 3. Twisted bloodline, the power's eldritch energy sings in your blood. Always count the boxes next to faith and mirage, as if they held a 3. Monstrous servants, you are twisted and uplifted by the power's gifts. Always count the boxes held next to lore and echoes, as if they held a 3. Your doctrine must change from one age to the next.
So what's the exact governance? I think I got lost in the middle.
The exact governance is your true masters are something different from your rank and file. So when I pick a doctrine for my character, the true master is something else.
Okay, cool.
Which is interesting. There's not a direct governance option there. It's just when I pick a doctrine for that age, the true masters get to be something different.
Cool. Oh, I see. You pick a doctrine based on the age that you're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we might not always be arcane cultists.
Cool.
Just that's kind of the easy one to start with, you know?
For me, I think I'm gonna do Populace is a ragtag band of survivors. Style. So the style choices it gives me are purposely nondescript and uniform, have heavy industrial gear, and rags and a striking badge of honor. I'm trying to decide between those.
Heavy industrial gear feels like an oppressed, like, working class.
What does
sort of
heavy
thing.
industrial gear mean, though?
I mean, I assume that means like really thick leathers and protective helmets and stuff, and like maybe even some in a more science fiction setting, like working rigs kind of thing, like the alien construction rigs that are like tiny mechs, basically.
Because you're building monuments, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
So you'd probably
they
have
use
like
mechs.
tiny
yeah.
mechs, yeah.
Like tiny exosuits.
Like
Exoskeletons,
exoskeletons.
yeah, that's what I was trying to
and
think of.
Oh, I'm totally into that. Oh man, now I'm way more excited about playing these people.
just imagine, with what we're talking about, imagine the scope of the construction work that they're doing.
Right.
You need miles in the air carrying 2-ton steel beams.
That sounds like literally the worst.
Okay, so then governance, a true town hall democracy, ever-shifting revolutions, leadership, and elected commissaries.
OSHA violation. Sorry, what?
I forgot about that.
Yes.
Honestly, I feel like the "Come with Me" and the Pure Imagination. That's a pretty good song for the Deathless Elites. I feel.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so governance is a true town hall democracy, ever-shifting revolutions, leadership, and elected commissaries. I'm trying to decide which one is more interesting about those. What do you guys think?
I think elected commissaries would be cool if they're not the ones electing them, but like some. Well, I guess no, they're not in contact with like God yet, so never mind.
I kind of like the idea of a town hall democracy.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Being like a
they just get all together
like,
and they just argue about stuff all the time.
Right, like a sort of a group council of.
It's a union, basically, I guess.
Yeah, like a giant union meeting all the time. Oh, we could go totally down the 20th century sort of goth, not gosh. Goth. I would almost call it goth punk, steampunk. Not exactly, but like a industrial punk, grunge aesthetic. Yeah, a grunge aesthetic.
Yeah, for sure.
Playing into that kind of.
Yeah, let's start it off with true town hall democracy. That might change based on
right.
all the things that are going to happen with them. But I think starting off with just mass chaos, they just all are talking over each other, trying to get stuff solved. I'm into that. I'm into that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, Carly, what about you? Traditions? I cannot hear you. Oh, it's just not close enough. Yeah.
Which is weird because it's right under my face, but
Now I can.
like certain positions, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
For populace, I thought artificial servants designed for perfection sounded interesting.
Oh, so you're like robot angels.
That's cool.
For style, brightly colored robes and armors.
Okay. Oh, I'm so into this.
And governance, a council guided by an absolute ethical imperative.
Ah, yes.
Nice.
That is so cool. Like construct angels.
Yes.
That's pretty boss.
So into it.
Also, I figured out what I want Midas' style to be.
Yeah.
They wear holograms of white light, gold jewelry, and solid light piercings.
Yes. Holographic clothing.
So
That's
I think
amazing.
have you guys
just
all
have
seen,
hologram projectors on them,
Yep.
and then just
have you all seen The Fifth Element?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so in that the one of the main characters wakes up in like a testing thing, and put like these just like straps of white fabric to like cover her. And so I'm imagining basically like that, except for made out of solid light and to varying degrees of modesty. But yeah, exactly. They just basically have a little projector somewhere that puts light over there wherever they want it. And then, yeah.
All right, Jared, what about you?
Okay. Find it again.
Traditions.
Traditions.
So one of the three.
Yeah, one of each.
Wait, what?
Yeah. What does it say for you? Doesn't it say, yeah, one of each?
Oh.
So one populace, one style, one governance. Right? So this basically is like, who are the people? What do they wear? How are they governed?
Okay. Well, populace, probably soldiers of some sort. Okay. Design.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I should have options on there to look through.
Yeah. A death squad. Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Nice. The whole thing is a death squad, just everybody. They're all a death squad.
That's what it says.
It literally
I
says
know,
Death Squad.
I believe you. They just,
Or
yeah.
master spin doctors.
What?
What?
Like
That's what it
DJs?
says.
No, spin doctor, like
What is a spin
fake news
doctor?
kind of people.
Oh, a spokesperson employed to give a favorable interpretation of events to the media.
It's
Oh my
not a
gosh.
DJ.
No, so
Okay.
you're literally the people who are like, we did not cause the
Coronavirus.
apocalypse. We did not, like, please do not. You should listen to us.
It sounds to me like
It's
they're
not
the
as
people
bad.
being like, the coronavirus is the worst. Go buy all of the toilet paper. Yeah, gotcha.
You know, I like Death Squad.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah.
What do you kill, though? I'm curious.
But we're gonna get to that in the governance part.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that answer.
Style. Tactical black with a skull motifs obsession.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Oh my
Perfect.
gosh.
The edge, it cuts me. I love it.
Yep. It's just
Wake me
like
up
Reaper
inside.
Incorporated. It's funny.
So basically, you're just a bunch of Punishers.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool.
An entire organization based off of
It's
Punishers.
perfect. And for the governance, I was thinking a bunch of like independent cells guided by cryptic oracles. Before the fall, you know, they were all like one big group.
Mm-hmm.
They were all pointed towards one goal, and that was just, you know, destroying or stopping the fall with
Nice.
whatever unworldly powers were at play.
Yeah.
But now, afterwards, they're all their goal is to basically get back at whatever was the real cause was, but they're divided upon what the actual cause was. So they're all basically fighting against different groups of people.
That's so
Nice.
cool. They all just blame different people. Yeah.
They get along well enough. It's a tenuous piece as long as they don't get in each other's way. But
Yeah. Nice.
That's fantastic.
Their motto is kill them all and let God sort them out. It's fine.
basically,
Except that it would be like kill
There
them
is
all and
no
let-
judgment as
Cthulhu.
fair and impartial as the final judgment. So we're just going to send y'all there and let God sort it out.
Hey, look, man's law is infallible. God's not. So we're just gonna skip your trial.
Oh man, I want to see a book. I want to see a book written about that. I think.
Oh man,
I
that
mean,
would be fun.
that's the idea, is to give you a whole bunch of material to work off of.
Yep.
So many short stories, so many novellas.
Man is fallible. God is not.
So kill them all. Is let God sort them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would that do to the crime rate of someplace? You kill the victim and the perpetrator at the same time.
Anytime there's a dispute. Yeah. Your tree fell down in my lawn. All right, well, we don't know who the answer, so we're just gonna ask God. Here you go. Bam.
All right, so let's do this now. Everybody, look at roll 20 if you would. For the next section.
Okay.
because we're gonna draw a map, a very very bad map, but we're just gonna make like little points on the map.
How do
It's a
I?
map.
Cut the crap
It's
map.
a map. It's a map.
Is it which one is it under?
It's I sent a link in chat on a Domini chat.
Oh right, yeah.
Just so we know where everything is in relation to each other, we'll mark points on the map here. Cool. So, let's start with you, David. We'll add stuff to the map.
Alrighty. Sorry. Trying to figure out a name for these guys. Okay, so landmarks. From the before, my options are an artificial island bathed in eternal well, I know my option is bathed in eternal sunlight, a fortress of glass and stone perched in a remote location, or a gigantic fortress of symmetry and beauty. Obviously, I'm going to pick an artificial island bathed in the eternal sunlight. So,
Okay. Where is that?
Well, I don't know. There's nothing there, so.
Do you want it to be
it's right there?
Okay, because the idea, right, is that this is the homeland. This whole thing is the homeland.
Right.
And so yeah, it's kind of mid-center of the homeland.
Just to flavor this,
Mm-hmm. So can you say it again? What is it again? That you just.
It's an artificial island bathed in eternal sunlight.
Interesting.
Which works perfectly because my what do they call it? My last readout is an artificial sun in the sky.
Oh my gosh.
So it's literally right underneath it where all of my people live, I think, probably, because they're trying to get into the sun above them. But literally, like, if you look up at my sun, the other sun is behind it from certain angles, and then, like, if you go to the right angle, you'll just see, like, two suns, because the one's in the atmosphere, obviously. It's just a big floating dome.
Right. It's
But
like a Dyson sphere or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't
But
be a
it's-
Dyson sphere.
Well, yeah, not a Dyson sphere. Just some sort of
No,
like
yeah.
epic construction that looks like a sun.
Yeah, so it's directly beneath my artificial sun thing, so that's why it's eternally bathed in sunlight.
Nice.
Then the fall, my options are a luxurious space shuttle, which is crashed, a crazed weather battering sterile land, or a slender tower turned into a haven for the desperate. I like. I don't know. They're all pretty cool. I feel like I want to do crazed weather, and I want to have it in some way related to the way that we caused the fall, which was from our like it was our appetites that caused the fall. So how would that create crazy weather? I'm trying to think.
I mean, you probably
if you forced it to be sunny all the time,
Yeah,
what does that do to the
tried to control
That's
the
true.
atmosphere.
Yeah. That's actually one of the options for my moves.
Maybe it's like
that I can
a bunch of
control the
dust
weather.
storms
Yeah, I think
because you
that's
just
cool.
like made a wasteland out of someplace.
One of my options for a move is that I can control the weather. So I like the idea that I didn't take it, but I like the idea that they used to have that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that like basically they were trying to make it always perfect weather, and instead it just like made it so that nothing could ever grow.
Yeah.
So it's just always like a perfect temperature, always sunny, and nothing can survive.
no
Yeah.
water?
Uh-huh.
You have no water at that point, right?
Yeah, because it couldn't rain. Basically.
I
Yeah.
like that even better than like taking all the weather and bottling it up somewhere.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe like it's actually really nice here, but everywhere else it's just like constantly destroying it with rain and stuff because all of the atmospheric activity is being pushed away. So it would be like a ring of like a mile that was around wherever this is, because I don't think it should be around my place because that's an ability I can get, but it'd be around wherever we tried to do this, and all around that is just like horrible thunderstorms and lightning storms all the time because they can't get through our weird, like, I don't know, terraforming, I guess.
Okay, so the fall was primarily caused by the weird like terraforming.
Yeah, basically we were trying to terraform the planet, I guess.
Yeah.
So that we could have
So
like a nice place to
keep
live
in
all the
mind
time.
then that is the thing that the failed Guardians weaponized. Terraforming technology.
Cool. All right.
So keep that in
nice.
mind, Jared.
What?
That was the thing that the Guardians weaponized from the Seat of the Fall was terraforming technology, like atmospheric
Okay.
control and
Because
stuff.
that was what caused the fall.
So you guys used that to as a weapon, and contributed to the fall as well.
What?
Because
So
basically you saw that the
sorry.
Deathless Elite were destroying the planet, and you, instead of saving the world, you used it to fight your own petty wars.
Yeah, basically we got to live in a really nice resort where everyone just got rained on like crazy all the time, constantly, and yeah, you're like, nope, none of that. Okay, so
Oh, that could be really easily weaponized in petty conflict too. I don't particularly like you. You go tsunami today.
Yeah.
right. Well, and that's why it can't be near my base because that's like an actual option that I have. I can control the weather around my base, and so if
Yeah.
I ever take that move, it needs to be somewhere else. Yeah.
Where you want it?
Oh yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Bless you. Let's see. I feel like we tried this far away just in case we messed it up. Because we didn't want to like terraform our backyard. So it's probably
that's
like
fair.
down here. We're like, hey, if this goes bad, oh well. And if it doesn't, it's not that far away. We'll just make it closer. Okay.
So what is that again?
It is a ring of perfect weather surrounded by super deadly storms and like crazy, probably like dust storms, that kind of stuff too. Just basically like the eye of the storm, except this, it's like a hurricane if the eye was like a mile
It's a perfect
across.
paradise.
Yeah, surrounded by
surrounded by
constant tornadoes,
Dust storms. Yeah. Cool.
like crazy stuff. Yeah. All right. And then I have a threat, which my options are a violent revolutionary for the destitute, a ring of memory traffickers, and a gang of body and organ harvesters. Now,
Ring of memory traffickers?
because I've been on a cyberpunk kick, I'm obviously going to pick a ring of memory
Please do the
traffickers.
ring of memory traffickers.
Yeah,
I want people to sell memory. That is so cool.
There was obviously not really another option there, I think. Oh, right. They have to be put somewhere.
Yeah, where do they hang out?
Well, I mean, if you're going to steal memories, it might as well be from people with good memories. So probably like here.
Okay.
All right. And then a haven. A garden of marble statues too realistic to be believed. So Medusa's house. Hot baths elegantly carved into smooth stone. A vault preserving priceless artistic and historical artifacts. Well, I mean.
Oh wait,
I'm
you
gonna
get another choice.
It's
Okay.
for a haven. Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm going to just ensure that we have our beach episode and pick hot baths elegantly carved. Well, I mean not beach episode, our hot springs episode.
Yeah, hot springs, Japanese hot springs episode, obviously.
Exactly. So obviously,
And
that will
there's
be,
the gender segregated parts, and the guys are trying to,
Yep. That'll be, I don't know, just because we kind of clustered it. I'll put it like here. Cool. All right, that's all my
Can you
stuff.
read that out again?
Oh, sorry. Hot baths elegantly carved into smooth stone.
Cool. And as we figure out where these things all are, we can also figure out like the terrain around them, right? Just based off what kind of it's gonna look like. Okay, Josh.
Hey.
So take a look at yours.
Landmarks from the before.
I guess everybody gets a haven. Never mind.
Yeah. So from before, options are an isolated and ancient town, your refuge, a primeval temple for bloody sacrifices, an urban hellhole for the poor and the shunned.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
The sound of that makes me think that you guys are pretty excited about
urban hellhole for the shunned.
Urban.
Yes.
I was thinking of primeval temple because the reaction is for that.
That's
I mean that
a
one's
lot
cool
of
too.
really bad options.
Oh,
like no,
I mean, it's the
that's the
Servants.
aesthetic I've chosen. Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly what this is all
that
about.
was my reaction. I was like, okay, those are all horrible.
Yeah, honestly, any of those sound cool to me.
Mhm.
Uh,
I like the idea of an urban hellhole for the poor and shunned.
Yeah, I'm
because I have an option from the fall that is probably what I'm going to go with. It overlaps with temple, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean that's definitely an urban hellhole for the shunned. Like that seems like the place where the Syndicate of the Lost lives.
Mm-hmm.
The urban hellhole for the shunned. Where do you want to put that?
I think let's have a bit of fun with some contrast. We're gonna put it. Draw a line between and then a little down on the left. Actually, I'll just plop a signal right about here.
Yeah.
Because you have to walk past it to get from your island of eternal sunlight to your hot baths. You just kind of have to ignore what you're stepping in.
And the exact wording is urban hellhole for the shunned and forgotten, or
an urban hellhole for the poor and shunned.
For the poor and shunned. Okay.
Correct.
Cool. All right.
The Fall. A Cyclopean temple that invaded our reality. A rift connecting this timeline to the end times.
What?
This is so crazy.
A city whose population was whisked away to an unknown plane.
What?
This is
I
why
want to do the
this so
Cyclopean
crazy.
temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What the heck?
The fall happened, and just all of a sudden this thing comes lifting up out of the ground.
We made such a nice square mile of land. Someone was like, I'm going to go live there, and portaled his dimensional home there. It's fine.
Where do you want to put it?
It's crazy.
Let's do the Cyclopean temple. Let's use a bit more of the space. If I can actually see how much space there is on my vertical monitor with our square map. Let's go out here for the Cyclopean temple.
For those of you who may not understand what the term Cyclopean in this instance means, it basically means made of irregular blocks.
It has nothing to do with Cyclopses.
It does not have anything to do with Cyclopses, really.
That's dumb.
Basically, it's not even and straight. It's like a bunch of irregular blocks all put together to make this kind of like haphazard looking temple thing.
Interesting.
Okay.
And then a threat. A mimetic virus spreading insanity and devotion.
What is going on?
A sentient disease bent on conquering this biosphere.
What?
The temporal hunters from an advanced timeline.
What is happening?
What is happening?
One of those has to be real.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I vote for sentient disease, but I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
It's obviously your option, Josh. I just it just sounds terrible.
What?
You can't do that.
What?
Relating to, constituting, or habitually practicing mimesis. Oh, I see. Mimesis is a term used in literary and criticism of philosophy that carries a wide range of meanings, which include imitation, nonsensious similarity. Okay, basically, it looks like a thing, but it's not the thing. Got it.
Yeah, sure.
Simple definitions with Josh.
Was that part of one of them? I didn't catch that.
The Greek is so mimetic patterns in butterflies is mainly where I'm deriving my definition from.
Oh, okay. So a mimetic virus basically is like it's an ideological virus.
Oh,
that's the idea.
Interesting.
It's not an actual virus. It's like using the term to mean a widespreading ideology. It was used by like Richard Dawkins to describe Christianity, for example, and religion in general.
Oh, interesting. So kind of like a contagious religion.
Yes, contagious religion. Yep.
I don't like the idea of a sentient disease.
Mm-hmm. It does seem like it would center
too much.
Yeah, it would center the story intense. On that. Yeah,
that adds too much. Too much. Especially because like epidemiology is spooky.
Mhm.
and I'm not a fan of epidemiology after doing a bit of research over the past couple of days.
Yeah,
Because honestly,
basically-
like, you have to not in order to avoid a virus. So if we had a sentient virus, like any
You have
amount,
to actively not.
you have to not to the point of there would be no game.
Yeah.
Right?
it's a game of pandemic.
Kind of, but worse.
Yeah.
Because the virus is smart. We just all lose.
So do you want to
Just
do
all
mimetic
by
virus
default.
then?
So, yeah, because I think Temporal Hunters messes with time, and I'm not too keen on doing
We
that
haven't
all
messed
that
with
much.
time yet, so let's probably not. do that.
Yeah, I don't like messing with time too much.
If we were gonna mess with time, we would have centered the entire story around that.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you want to put the mimetic virus? Like its origin point? It's,
An origin point?
yeah, where is it? Ground zero.
It would certainly make sense for its ground zero to be
The Cyclopean
either
Temple.
near the Cyclopean Temple or in the urban hellhole.
Mhm. Either one's fine with me. What if it was in the hot baths, elegantly carved into smooth stone?
I mean, I guess.
Just because you don't expect it. What if the people who are on the hot baths are actually secretly religious zealots?
Or somebody had a bad trip and decided they were going to start a religion.
On their pleasure vacation, they had a bad trip and found God. They discovered light then, I guess. From
Yes.
Clockwork Cowboy universe.
I found out what my name for my character or for my people are.
Yeah.
They're called the perihelion, which is the point in the
Perihelion.
orbit of a planet or other body when it is closest to the sun.
Yes.
And then
the
they refer to-
perihelions.
They refer to other people as the aphelion, which is the point at which a planet is at the furthest point.
That is
from
so
the sun.
cool, David.
That's awesome.
This is why I wanted to do this with you guys, because I know you guys are really creative and fun. And
Thanks.
okay, where's the mimetic virus coming from?
So I'm not totally clear on what that means.
Mimetic in the sense that it is.
Oh, I mean, I want to read a quick definition. Because this actually might be more useful than a definition.
Study of information and culture.
Specifically.
Oh, it's memes. Literally, that's what that means.
Yeah,
It's memes.
I was gonna say
memes.
Mimetic virus. That's what it is.
A meme virus.
Just like the coronavirus is a virus, the memes about the coronavirus are also a virus.
I mean, that's true.
they're a better virus.
Yeah,
they're an amazing virus.
But they're a mimetic virus.
That's hilarious. Oh,
Okay,
my word.
but what if
The mimetic virus is a vector for cybersecurity. Like conventional terrorism, cyber terrorism has the same aims and goals, but the act is done exclusively within cyberspace where the computer is both weapon and target. Like conventional terrorism is not.
I have a suggestion? What if the ring of memory traffickers are the ground zero for the mimetic
That
virus?
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because that's not their main product. It's a byproduct
Mm-hmm.
or a mistake or something. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, everybody gets this memory now. Or
Mm-hmm. But maybe they tapped into some like ancient memory thing.
it's the music.
Yes, it's the music.
It's the music and it's the music that these artists keep hearing.
Yes, it's a
It's
mimetic
drawing them
virus.
into this cult.
And it's from the memories. Yes, okay, that's really cool. So a mimetic virus that spreads insanity and
People
devotion.
just constantly have the song stuck in their head.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let
Gonna
you
let
down.
Oh,
Gonna
gosh.
run.
That's what it is. That's what it is,
Yeah.
guys.
It's funny because on this planet, getting the song stuck
What's-
in someone's head is a
Did it-
capital
we
offense.
did it, we-
No,
Wait,
we did that in Elysian
No.
Road. Yeah.
Yes, we had where like
That
the
was the
ghost
ghost
ship
ship.
was
Yeah.
constantly playing that into space.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the worst one. There's one that is worse.
Okay. But this is the idea, guys. The memory traffickers, right? They sometimes they prank people and they give them a memory, but it's literally just this is give you up, never gonna give you up. And they give them the URL to the memory, and it's just the link to the ancient YouTube video.
Oh,
Memory traffickers rickrolling random
gosh.
Yeah.
Gosh.
with memory altered technology.
That's what you give them if you're like cutting them off. They've had too much.
Too much. I'm gonna rickroll you now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Oh my
totally
gosh.
down with that sort of vibe for the memory traffickers, though.
Oh, you could totally take that in two different directions, though. You could go with them just being goofy and trolly, or you could go as far as to be like 4chan levels of trolly.
Like they fake memories, right? To
Oh yeah.
to spread the mimetic virus that spreads insanity and devotion, right? Like they troll people into belief. Oh my gosh, they started a religion just for kicks and giggles.
Probably
That
by
is such a
faking
4chan
memories,
thing.
by faking memories.
It's probably also to make stupid amounts of money, but
Yeah, also that. Oh my gosh, that's so.
No, they
good.
probably didn't have money in mind at all. Let's be honest here.
I'm
It
imagining
was
these
more
guys,
if
David,
somebody
as
just
kind
took
of
5
like,
minutes and they're like, "What if?"
guys, these are David. This is like the guild from
yeah, it
from
totally is.
Far Verona.
Yeah, except that they're not nearly as powerful. But yeah,
No, but they're
otherwise,
just
yeah,
memory
exactly.
traffickers. But yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next thing then.
yeah.
Oh yeah, a haven.
Mhm.
A mirror maze where angles bloom into impossible complexity.
Oh, that's so cool.
A summit temple where sunset blazes in tones of jail and ulfire. Or a fungal forest where mystics search for psychedelic enlightenment.
Dude, your options are all crazy.
It's my playbook, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, man.
I love it. I
Which
love
one?
all of it.
I'm down with. I think I'm into the mirror maze mostly. More so than anything else.
Yeah, on it. Yeah, because the summit temple doesn't fit the aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
A fungal forest with psychedelics is tangential.
Yeah.
So a mirror maze.
Mirror maze with the dark dimension stuff, right? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
mirrors are the
it's
key,
trippy.
right?
It's like the have you seen? Not have you seen? Better question. Better words in a line.
sentence.
The mirror sequence from Star Wars Episode 8.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something trippy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like dark
Oh
and
yeah.
But it
Combined
actually has a point in this.
darkness and occult and mirrors and
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what does that even mean? I don't. Anyways, let's not get into it. Sorry.
there was nothing more than it was.
I could say that about
Oh.
most of the plot points in that sequel trilogy.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
So
You're
mirror
not
maze
gonna
then?
listen to me complain. Yes.
Where you
Yeah,
want to put
I mean,
that?
This is super cool.
Well, there's a big empty spot in the northeast corner, so let's put it in there.
Okie dokie. You notice I'm color coding these to your guys' colors.
I like that. Thank you.
I didn't notice that, but thank you. Although I think mine was yellow, and I hate yellow, so.
I mean, but you're the sun.
Oh, that's right. I'm fine.
It's kind of like
You
an
should use
orangish
white.
yellow.
Just kidding.
Not on this map. No.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so what's the exact wording? Josh, what's the exact wording on that?
Exact wording is a mirror maze where angles bloom into impossible complexity.
Okay, Carly.
If you're saying something, we can't hear you.
Okay.
What are you thinking? So 1 for each of those categories.
Yeah. So before, a chop shop for the failed gods of the old.
Ooh.
Failed gods of old. A monumental temple haunted by decrepit icons, or automated catacombs guarding divine relics.
Yes, that one.
Oh, I immediately thought a chop shop for the failed gods of old.
That's
So
pretty cool.
failed gods of old meaning
Angels?
Well, because
People are-
who
remember
are the failed
her
gods of old?
her characters are artificial, right?
Yeah, so it could be for them.
It's like playing along the same artificial lines.
Right. I'm just curious. Like a chop shop is super
Yeah.
cool, but for the failed gods of old, like who are the failed gods of old in this instance? Like who is that referencing? Like Josh's like dark gods, the presence.
I don't know.
I mean, I think just like her angel people would be cool, like because they're mechanical. So chop shop for her angel people.
But why would
But-
that be a thing?
Because if an angel died and he was laying there, he's probably worth a lot of money. Probably want to chop him up. You guys wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be for you. Like obviously you wouldn't want that. But these don't have to be for, like these aren't like in benefit for you necessarily. They're just like a thing.
Whoa.
be
Okay. Wait a second. What if
bud.
these are it's a chop shop for the failed gods of old? What if these are angels that came and failed their mission? Maybe they were sent originally. Some of these angels were
yeah.
sent to stop
cool.
the apocalypse, and they failed.
Yeah.
And now you guys were sent to get these people off world, right? But the chop shop for the failed gods of old, there's literally a chop shop for members of your race that lived and died here and failed their mission. And now you could go there and like get parts to fix people if you needed them, right? To fix yourselves. You down with that?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. The fall. A site fouled by the
Where do you want
betrayal.
that?
What do you mean? Oh.
On the map.
I don't know. Anywhere.
I mean, this will determine like what it's close to and stuff.
No.
So
if
you wanted to,
they're gonna have.
I mean, I'm just saying like you probably don't want it near like right next to some of these things. So you can just choose an empty space, right?
I don't know, like here.
Okie dokie. Do you accept your color? Okay. What's the next one?
Fall. A site fouled by the betrayal that killed the presence's faith in us all. The bridge to the heavenly city, severed beyond repair, which is the one that I liked.
Ooh.
And a mighty containment facility cracked open from the inside.
So if you just use the bridge to the heavenly city, severed beyond repair, is it a literal bridge? Is it?
No, I don't think it's a literal bridge.
I mean, is it the ship that you guys came here on?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Well, what is that exactly? Like, what? Like, is it like a pretty like standard like spaceship looking thing, or is it like some sort of like weird like crystal spaceship?
I mean, I think the spaceship should. I don't know how to describe this other than teardrop shape, because my stat thing specifically says tears in the star-filled skies drop you screaming.
So some sort of like
and I think that's
giant
cool.
teardrop shaped
Yeah.
vessel. Yeah. What is it? What is it made out of? Oh, what if it's like a sleek white spaceship, right? Like this one,
Yeah.
like sleek white teardrop shaped thing. Yeah. Where do you want that?
uh, I don't know. Like here.
Okay. Bridge to the heavenly city, severed beyond repair. Cool. Next.
Okay, a threat. Offenders sentenced to immortal suffering now escape and hell-bent on revenge. An earlier creation of the presence, fundamentally flawed and incredibly potent.
Oh yeah.
Or a trafficking ring specialized in retro-engineering holy relics.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, my first thought was an earlier creation of the presence, fundamentally flawed and incredibly potent.
And what would that
I'm
be?
not sure. I am not sure.
Is that we had tossed around the idea of that being the
Yeah.
Eldritch
Yeah.
horrors.
Oh yeah, the offender sentenced to immortal suffering now escaped and hell-bent on revenge.
Or
Right.
That could
That was
also
the
be.
that was a
Either
thought we
those
had
could-
originally.
Well, no, I think the original one was the one that Carly just read out.
Oh, an earlier creation of the present fundamentally flawed and incredibly potent. Oh yeah, of course, right.
Yeah.
So maybe this world is the home of one particular entity that like has leaked through from this dark dimension.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so where is this like underworld opening? Or at the very least, like, presence of this thing in some metaphysical way. Right next to David's stuff. I tried to get Carly to put the demon Cthulhu dimension god right next to your stuff.
Not very nice. I already have a mimetic virus that spreads insanity and a ring of memory traffickers right next to where I live. And an urban hellhole not that far away.
Just around the corner. Block.
Yeah, on your left you'll see the urban hellhole for the poor and shunned.
It's a good thing I made my city floating. Just to go away out, you guys, on there.
I'm
The
gonna
urban
put it
hellholes.
here.
Oh, though that's actually a really
Yeah, that's good.
interesting visual.
What is? But
Just the idea of a city floating above all of the
oh yeah.
chaos and crap going on down below.
Yeah, I mean technically it doesn't look like a city. It just looks like a sun. But yeah.
Ooh, that's even better.
Is there like
So
an
much better
artificial
even.
sun just floating in the sky?
Yep.
Cool, awesome. And don't you have a
Don't stare into the artificial sun, you'll go blind.
Extensive library of fractal
architecture,
A meditation chamber so ancient that the stones are worn by the knees of the faithful. Or a sentient garden beautiful beyond words.
What do you think?
I thought the library said.
I had a feeling.
I mean, it's library of architecture.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's like an ancient library of architectural styles from the old world. Where do you want to put that? Yes, David. Share with the
There's
class.
a rule. Sorry, there's a rule in Endgame where they change how helping people works, and they call lend aid, and in parentheses it says for reprobates. It's like a worse version of lending aid. I just thought it was funny.
Where do you want to put the library of architecture? Where? Oh, nice. I see it. Sweet. And it could be an actual library too, right? Like, but it just has fractal architecture as involved in the library. That's totally fine. It's kind of vague enough that it could mean either one.
That's true.
Wait, do these books all have their own character playbooks as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's
Exactly.
gonna take me forever to find out what I want to play.
That's one of the main reasons I wanted to use all of them, because there are some of those ones that are just so cool, like prodigies, like prophets, and like.
I'm gonna make my character that is immortal because I'm basically just gonna play him as much as possible, because I'm lame. So I wanna.
All right, Jared.
Yes.
What landmarks do you want? Ooh, all your landmarks are secret.
What?
That's really cool.
That's bogus.
None of you get to know.
Okay, so Jared, just
So cool.
choose one from each of those categories and write them down,
Oh.
and you don't have to tell anyone.
Oh. Okay.
And then I'll later we'll figure out where they are on the map, and I'll put them in secret.
Gotcha.
That's super cool. Yeah, write the GM notes describing the location of one from each category, or at the beginning of each age, secretly add a threat on the map and explain to the GM how it is an expression of the seed. Oh, that's so cool. All right, so Jared, at the beginning of each age, you add a new threat to the map based on the terraforming stuff.
Okay.
Right? So it's an expression of how you guys failed to, like, you weaponized the technology, the terraforming technology.
Got it.
Because you guys are basically still using the terraforming technology to fight your secret shadow wars. So you probably just like end up like creating like a wormhole somewhere, right? Or like a tidal, like a whirlpool or something. Like a giant field of quicksand or something. Okay, cool, awesome. So then I'll choose mine. Syndicate of the Lost. Let's see. Before is a jumbled hive of slums, a stadium home to grand spectacle and cheap entertainment, or a central station for the commuting rank and file. What do we think? Either of those sound really good.
I'm sorry,
The
could you say
first
them
two
again?
again? Yeah.
Sorry.
A jumbled hive of slums, a stadium home to grand spectacle and cheap entertainment, or a central station for the commuting rank and file.
I like
the second one.
personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a stadium is probably a good thing to add to this setting. Some sort of gladiatorial arena.
Yeah.
Let's see, where do I want to add that? Let's put it right here.
Yes, right next to the urban hellhole.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where they go for their fun. They got to do something that they enjoy.
The memory traffickers just hop on over and sell memories like peanuts.
Let's not. They don't sell the memories there. They harvest memories.
Oh my
there.
gosh, Carly, I love you. The memory traffickers, yeah, selling memories like peanuts at the stadium. That's amazing.
There's no actual spectacles. You just go there to buy memories from
Yeah,
various
yeah, it's like
past
from various
sporting
past
events.
sporting events. Yeah, it's like,
I mean-
do you want to relive the not liking
World
what you're seeing
Series?
right now?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
relive the World
I mean,
Series.
here's the thing: the memories are just of someone eating peanuts, and then they don't have to get the peanuts.
Right.
It's just infinite
Oh
peanuts.
my gosh.
They just have the satisfying feeling after eating the peanuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
You get to eat them infinitely because you never fill. It's fine. Let's see.
Okay. Let's see. The
This
fall
is going to be
is.
quite the game.
Oh yeah, the spot where countless vainly awaited for rescue. Oof. The vast market turned into a war zone, or
Goodness,
the
these are
filthy
rough.
underground the desperate fled to.
I like the idea of a war zone.
Yeah,
personally.
the
Like,
vast
active
market turned
conflict,
into a
yeah.
war zone. I'm
Yeah, that's
really
pretty sick.
interested in that one. Let's see. Where do I want to put that though? Let's put it up here. Boom. And the threats are an ancient landfill that spawns monsters.
That's horrifying.
Noble hunters chasing after prime genetic specimens. Or a gang controlling the access to a critical resource. Oof, man.
Huh.
Like the idea of a landfill that spawns monsters? Because it fits with the whole this is the dregs of an opulent society.
Mm-hmm. Thing is, though, we haven't really done a whole lot of bioengineering stuff so far.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't seem like that would be an obvious like runoff. I'm thinking the noble hunters chasing after prime genetic specimens. I want some of the members of the Syndicate of the Lost. Because so one of the things that is technically true about the future of this people is they hunt dragons. That's like one of the main, like they're sent to destroy a world, like to destroy the dragon demons of the world they end up on. I'm interested in seeing the proto version of that, right? Yeah. Where it's like there's a specific group of people in this Syndicate of the Lost who are noble hunters that chase after prime genetic specimens.
That's cool.
Have that be kind of part of the. Oh, well, wait a second. This is a threat.
Yeah.
So this is noble hunters chasing after. Okay. Know what? You know what this is, though? This is your people. These are like slavers going through the dregs of society to find the perfect genetic specimens to serve on the great artificial sun in the sky.
Yeah.
And then a haven. A pier by the shore where loved ones keep vigil for their sailors. A theater hall lovingly cared for as the revolution's cradle. Or a radio station packed full of powerful songs and now meaningless memorabilia. I think I want to do the radio station.
I had sort of a music thing on a couple of these already, so
yeah,
that would be a good sort of following up on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. I have a few ideas there. Awesome. Cool. And then we have history. And this will determine like how we interact as factions. So David just ran out.
Sorry, what?
Oh, you go ahead and we'll start with you again. For history.
Right. Sorry, let me find that. History. Okay, yeah, this is fun. So which one of you first found power in the confines of the redoubt, which is going to be from here on out referred to as let's see if I can find where I named it. Sorry, Azimuth.
Nice. So the great artificial sun?
Yes.
Can you read the history question again then?
Yeah, sorry. Which one of you first found power in the confines of the Azimuth? They say the price they paid for that power and give you 2 treaty.
Okay, which one of us was it?
But do I answer the question? You guys answer the question, right?
I think we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just asking in general to the other people.
Okay. Gotcha.
Repeat that.
Yeah, sure. Which one of you first found power in the confines of the azimuth, which is my floating sun? They say the price they paid for that power, and
I feel like it's Jared.
I think so too. It makes sense.
Right? That's ultimately
also-
what the idea
It also
is.
seems funny to have him indebted to me
Yeah.
when I'm the one seeing out to kill, even though he doesn't know that.
So what price
But-
did you pay for that power, Jared?
What price did I pay for that power, David?
They say the price they paid for that power.
Oh.
Sorry, but I can give you some ideas. I mean, like, I feel like we're mega rich, and I feel like the whole point is that we're manipulative in that kind of way. So we probably hire you because actually one of the things I have is a need for defenses. So we probably were like, hey, we'll give you some cool lasers or something, sun lasers.
Well, I mean,
if-
they probably keep supplying you with terraforming technology,
Ooh.
right?
That's true. Like the terraform weapon stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we probably did that, and then in exchange, you like, or at least a cell, right? Because you are very independent
Yeah.
cells.
Or at least the raw
Like-
resources to make the terraforming guns
Right.
and whatnot.
They would like help us.
With the fence and all that?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Cool.
Man, I love the moral quandaries of this organization of failed guardians who are like, yeah, we definitely we just basically gave up on saving the world and we're profiting from it instead. And we're
One
gonna,
of the cells.
yeah, well, that's the thing. There's going to be a lot of people who disagree with each other in there, but
Mhm.
like the organization as a whole, like sold out.
Yeah.
To get this technology, yeah, in
Mhm.
some way. Cool.
My next one is.
So yeah, write that
which-
down somewhere, both of you.
Yeah, I got it. Which one of you was saved by an inhuman traveler? Which I don't know what that has to do with anything. It
I
says
mean, probably
give them
you,
to
right?
treaty as you crave to know more
Yeah.
about this wanderer. That's what it is. Okay.
Or wait, read that again.
So it is, which one of you was saved by an inhuman traveler? Give them to treaty as you crave to know more about this wanderer.
Oh, okay. So you guys are searching after whoever this non-human
Yeah.
wanderer was, who I think I think it's maybe me.
Which inhuman character would you have encountered? Because my first thought was Josh, since he's got lots of inhuman.
Oh, that's actually probably true too. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, and like I feel like they may
There's
be a direct
also-
threat to me. But
The artificial angels.
yeah, I feel like I would have a legitimate, honestly. So like,
Yeah.
I feel like I would be most concerned. Well, wait, Caleb, what was your idea for your inhuman traveler?
Well, probably honestly the angels, right? Like,
Right. Well, because yeah, I would either be like, yeah, I suppose they would be the inhuman traveler, probably.
yeah. Right? They're probably the only non-human race in this
Right.
on this planet.
Yeah, because I feel like I would either be Josh because I'm worried about these weird like things that are showing up, or it would be her, or I mean you, I guess, because I'm interested in the angel characters, and I assume I don't know much about them. So,
I feel
I don't know. That may not necessarily be true. I don't know.
I feel like it would be most interesting though to give it to Josh, because
Yeah, that makes
the
sense.
inhuman things that Josh is interested in are probably, it would be way more interesting for your thing, people to get involved with them.
Yeah, I think so too. You cool with that, Josh?
Oh yeah.
So mark down that you have 2 treaty over me.
Okay. And what was the specific thing again?
That was that
How was it phrased?
You were saved by an inhuman traveler, which I assume is your weird Cthulhu thing somewhere along the line.
Or some
something
incarnation
related
of
to
it, yeah.
Yeah. And so because I'm wondering about what that was, and I'm probably because I'm worried about it, you get 2 treaty over me because I want to know. And treaty is sort of like diplomatic leverage in this game. My last one is whose kin suffer as our thralls.
Me.
I know the answer to that.
That's me.
It says, give them 2 treaty, and they say why the thralls can't leave.
Oh, perfect. This is working out perfectly. So I have 2 treaty with you.
Over me, yep. And then you tell me why they can't leave.
What are you guys called again?
The Parahelion.
Parahelion.
Probably pronounced Parahelion, but it's easier to say Parahelion.
I mean, I think you should add another L and make it Parahelion, like, because that sounds like cool and edgy.
It does.
Cool and edgy is usually a metric by which I determine how far over the line I have gone.
Yeah.
And so why we
Also,
can't leave?
Parahelion sounds a little too much like helium.
Yeah.
So I like Parahelion.
Yeah.
Parahelion is a normal word.
I know, but it sounds like helium, and helium makes you sound like silly. So I feel like.
Yeah, but helium is helium because, Helios is Greek for sun.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Hellion is like.
Yeah. Like
invokes more like. Makes me think Hellenic.
Yeah,
which
maybe I
is
will keep Parahelion.
Greek-ish?
I don't know. Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Okay, so what was the question that I had to ask?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll
You're
stop
good.
beating you over the
So
head
why-
about that. That's
why-
not my place.
It's fine. I think you're right. I think the so the why can't you leave? Why can't your
Why
thralls
can't
leave?
I leave?
Yeah.
I don't know, because we're slaves? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess what's keeping you from just being like, bye Felicia? Like, I don't know. Just taking off.
I mean, let's just say you're.
Well, I mean, if we're trying to do a correlation with Israel, it could just be that you wouldn't survive anywhere else, right? Like, because the whole problem was they left, which I mean, this was only because they were stupid, but they left Egypt, and then they were like, oh, well, we should go back to Egypt where we had food, when they were running around in the desert, which I understand is a correlation you're gonna make later in the story, and also, again, only happened because they were disobedient. But it could just be that like it's not really safe anywhere but where I am, or like comfortable, I should say.
I think it's probably more just we can't leave because of their overwhelming power. Like I think it's literally just you are gods, right? Like,
I mean, yeah.
And the power is just it's too much for us. You have too many resources at your disposal, too many people that are working for you.
Do any of your population believe that we're gods? Because that could also be a thing. So,
I mean, so the factions are different than the actual like populations of people, though, too. So there's probably a lot more, right? There's a lot more people of the race that this faction is a part of that aren't part of the faction. And so we're oppressed because of your power, but there's probably a lot of other people of our race that are oppressed because they actually believe you, or they're totally useless on their own. But the reason us specifically is because we just don't have the manpower to fight you.
Right. Yeah.
So. Cool. Josh, what are your history questions?
My history questions are as follows. Each other family or faction discloses their stance in the Shadow War.
Ooh. Okay, so we get 3 choices here, I see.
Yeah. Devoted. They say which secret practices they hold to honor the Eldritch powers. You say how they are rewarded. You give them 2 treaty. Infiltrated. They say who among their people worship the Eldritch powers. You tell us how. Exchange 2 treaty. Hostile. You say how they battle against. The Eldritch powers. They say how they battle against the Eldritch powers. You tell us how you survive. You tell us how you help them. Oh, okay, I get it. They say how they battle against the Eldritch powers. You tell us how you help them survive this far. Take 2 treaty on them. Interesting.
Very interesting.
So,
Okay. I mean, each of us gets to choose. David, what do you think? Are you devoted, infiltrated, or hostile?
Feel like infiltrated makes the most sense personally.
Yeah, I think
That's
so too.
probably a thing. So,
So infiltrated
by-
means.
Do you have a name yet for your organization?
No, not yet.
Okay, by
So you tell me
Josh's
who among
cultists.
you is is it specifically phrased? It says, "Who among your people worship the eldritch powers?"
Okay, someone worships.
Well, it's not someone. You tell me who.
This
Unless-
is how I'm writing it. Let's see. I don't know
Okay.
what someone is yet. So that someone is. I mean, wait. What's the what's the rest of this? It gets something, right?
So it says exchange to treaty. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to look that up right now.
I think maybe we both get 2 treaty. Okay.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
this-
probably what it is. Yeah, you both
This
get 2
isn't the
treaty.
one where I get rewarded, right? I just get treaty.
No, we exchanged treaty.
Okay.
You both get 2 treaty on each other. I think is what that
I
means.
see. Okay.
Right, because you say who among your people worship the eldritch powers, and I tell you how.
Right. Hmm.
Like, is there a particular like subsect of the Deathless Elite that, or like a?
I feel like it's probably somebody who's high enough on the food chain to be important and like, but low enough to have just made it into, the azimuth. Like, basically, like they don't have enough information to know this is stupid, but
Not stupid.
they,
Welcome your otherworldly overlords.
I mean, like stupid for them, right? Like,
Yeah.
to for their rise in power, but they're important enough that it like actually matters. So like, I feel like it's maybe like the liaison between us and the perihelion who are below us on Nadir or whatever it's called. They're like because remember they're all direct descendants trying to become immortal. So basically, he's the one who talks to our descendants for us because they don't live up here with us.
Oh, that's interesting then.
So the mouthpiece, or I guess the liaison between those perihelion. I always spell this wrong. In azimuth and those in nadir below. Okay. Yeah, oops, I spelled nadir wrong. Okay.
Cool.
Nadir is that island that I talked about, which I think is where a lot of the like descendants who have not attained immortality live. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Cool.
So that has some interesting implications then.
Yeah, because that means that he could sort of misinterpret things for us and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, like we could do things directly, but we don't know that he's this way, so we wouldn't have any reason to bypass him.
Cool.
So there's another step to this, right?
You tell us how.
Right.
Josh tells you how.
I mean,
So how you worship the eldritch powers, I guess.
how does he worship the eldritch powers?
Like, how did this
I
come
think-
about? Like,
What are you? Yeah, because I got how it comes about. I think he probably caught said mimetic virus. Was hearing music and was like, "What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I find this tune anywhere?" And then encountered some kind of a
Yeah, the hedonist,
Not really
the hedonist
like a cult-
lifestyle of
yeah,
the
kind
the
of a
Deathless
cult
Elite
evangelist. He
likes
comes
it.
across like a cult evangelist person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like playing the music on the street, right?
Yeah.
And
Which makes sense because he would be he would be down there more often than anybody else in our actual upper. Yeah.
So he's walking along and hears this music on the street, and he's like, "That's the music.
Yeah.
That's the earworm that won't leave my head."
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
from there, he got pretty swiftly
That's cool.
gathered up and indoctrinated.
Yeah. So, what is this with the treaty? What are we doing?
You both get
We'll
2 treaty on each other.
exchange to treaty.
Okay. Exchange to treaty.
So you both get
Guess I
2
should
treaty
make that.
with each other. I'm trying to decide if I'm infiltrated or hostile.
I feel like it would make the most sense for Carly to be hostile.
Yeah, and I feel
What's
like
the
I should be.
context of this again?
So this is what your position is in the shadow war with the eldritch powers that Josh's faction serves. Whether or not you're devoted to them, you're infiltrated by them, or hostile to them. So obviously you guys would be hostile.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna also be infiltrated because I think there are definitely some members of like this the Israelites are notoriously bad at doing what they're supposed to do with this stuff. And there's some among the member who are seeking to use the dark powers instead of fighting them.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just basically like a subsect. Just people who are maybe some of the people who are very let me write this down. Some of the more disillusioned and impassioned members who are looking for a magic bullet to their problems have sought the eldritch powers in secret. And so we have 2 treaty with you, and you have 2 treaty with us. How did this come about?
I think this one I think they stumbled across some artwork. I think it was some artwork that seemed to resonate and speak to them. And it was like a sort of graffiti kind of artwork. Right? And they're like, wow, something's different about this than all the other graffiti I see around. Yeah. It's resonating with this need in my soul for a quick fix, an easy solution.
Yeah.
And then followed hints and clues left behind and wound up in a meeting of some cult evangelists who promptly indoctrinated them and introduced them to the practices of the cult.
Cool. So Carly, I imagine you guys are hostile?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you battle against the eldritch powers?
I don't know.
Like, do you directly fight members of, like, Josh's organization? Do you...
I don't think so.
So is it more of a persuasion, sort of like proselytizing sort of thing? Like, you find people who are under the influence of the power and try to persuade them away from it?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, so you battle an ideological war with the eldritch powers. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, mark that somewhere. And then, Josh, how have you helped the Serene Choir or whatever Carly ends up naming these people? How have you helped them to survive this far?
Hang on. Okay, that was really, really weird. Sorry.
You're good.
I had a Twitch stream muted or paused in the background, and they hosted somebody. And all of a sudden,
it's playing a Geico ad in my ear. I'm like, where'd that come from?
That's funny.
Okay. Hostile. They say how they battle against the Eldritch powers. You tell how you help them survive this far. So what was the too long? I've got Geico in my ear. Answer there.
Basically, she battles an ideological warfare with the Eldritch powers.
Okay. You tell us how you help them survive this far. No, I think the faction, my family, I don't have a name for. I think they just don't give them any sort of. They just don't give them the time of day. Like, oh, you're worth nothing. You're fighting an ideological war with powers that are greater and older than anything you've ever dealt with before. You know, so they just straight up ignore them. In terms of they don't see them as a threat.
Ah, I see. Yeah,
so that's how they survive so long.
Yeah.
So they don't invoke their god against. They don't invoke their eldritch gods against them because they don't feel
like they're a threat. Cool.
Or they feel like if it's a threat, it's one that we can deal with without having to invoke the gods.
Yeah. Okay, so you take treaty on them, Josh. So basically, you're watching them, but you're like, they're not important. Jared, what's your stance between these three? Devoted, infiltrated, or hostile to the Eldritch powers of darkness?
Hostile.
Hostile? Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
How do you battle against the Eldritch powers?
Violence.
With violence, yeah. How have you helped them survive this far, Josh?
Not sure. So, how I helped them survive despite them using violence against. So, specifically violence against the practitioners of this Eldritch, the people who believe in this Eldritch. You're using violence against my family, correct?
Do you worship Eldritch stuff, right?
Yes.
Are there actually Eldritch beings?
Yes, there are.
Okay. I'm thinking more of the beings.
Yeah.
Oh. How the hell did you survive this far then?
Terraforming technology.
No, how have I helped you survive this far?
Okay, never
mind. Probably
because Josh's characters are so in tune with the Eldritch powers. He if someone's hostile to them, it's basically up to Josh how they've helped you survive this battle against it.
I think. Oh, that's interesting. I think that at this point, we deem you a useful enough undercurrent,
right?
That you guys are basically, in the minds of my leadership, you guys are the fall guys.
Yeah.
You guys can be the trouble, the edgelords, the ones that are looked at and looked down upon from on high.
Mm-hmm.
So we slide then in under the radar as long as we keep you and your, as long as we keep an eye on you guys and not give you too many opportunities to actually fight the Eldritch beings and make giant craters with, floating purple smoke.
I mean, I can definitely see battles happening where these Eldritch beings are trying to come up from the ground and they're using the terraforming muffins to literally entrap them in stone or something like that.
Did you say terraforming muffins?
Terraforming weapons.
Oh,
that's
totally sounded like muffins.
I think muffins sound much cooler.
Terraforming muffins.
All right.
the weapons themselves are shaped like muffins,
Oh boy.
like an
Terraforming
observatory, right?
grenades.
But they're kind of more dome shaped. This is a giant muffin building, and it has to be just that shape, just so, for science.
Okay, so
And
Josh,
really, they just look like muffins dotted around the landscape.
yeah. You can take
So I think
two
they
treaty
just-
on Jared's people.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Terraforming muffin observatories. Terrifying. Terrifying. Carly, what are your history questions?
Which of you worshipped the presence before the fall? They say whether they still believe and give you 2 treaty.
Ooh. I feel like it's either me or Jared.
I mean, I feel like you makes most sense.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think us. Like, we used to, and then we fell away from it. Yeah, so we used to worship the presence before the fall. And we, whether we still believe, some of us do.
Okay.
I think as a faction, the majority of us do, yes.
Okay.
And so you'd take 2 treaty with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We still believe in the presence. And we'll have to figure out if we want to name it something different, but
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
Which of you helped us vanquish a terrible monster?
Sounds like it's probably Jared.
Yep.
Not in the room right now.
Well, it says, say how you hunted it down, and they say how they dealt the final blow. I mean, I don't know.
What kind of, I mean, was it like an eldritch being? Was it like,
Probably.
yeah. I mean, we should just start calling them what they are then. They're Tannerin. That's
Yeah.
ultimately what they are.
Tannerin, you said?
Tannerin, yeah. That's the remnant's name for them, at least. The name that all my people would give them. Basically just means dragon, but like demon specifically.
How spell?
Tanneryn.
Okay.
The Tannerin. So how do you hunt it down then? Exactly. How do your people hunt? Like, what weapons do you guys have? Like,
So we haven't gotten to it yet, but my how do you fight in assets? I thought a herald's trumpet sounded the coolest. So
continuing with the music theme. Okay, I like it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm honestly considering changing the base magic system of my guys to music based stuff, like for the future stuff that they end up doing. I think that because
That'd be very biblical.
Yeah, David, do you remember the stuff we came up with about the life singers way long ago?
I was wondering when we were going to do that. That's a pretty cool system.
I think I might just fold that into this and have my people be the life singers, basically.
Nice
right?
idea.
Like have their magic end up being based on the songs, on the music.
Yeah, that's a pretty
I
awesome
feel like that would help us
system.
thematically center this entire thing.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's pretty cool. Plus, it's a good. The whole point was they were nomads because they had to be, so it kind of fits them.
Yeah. Yeah. So Carly, how does that at the trumpet work exactly?
I don't know.
Wasn't there something about voices catching hair on fire?
Oh my gosh, yeah. What if it's that? What if it's like the sound waves catching fire or something?
Amplified holy
basically it's a ranged. It says in the tags it's a ranged area weapon.
Yeah.
So
I mean that is exactly what mine does.
oh,
but-
you actually have that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
that was his. That
Yeah,
was his
exactly.
I
thing.
thought
don't
that was
wanna do
just
the
you were
same
just
thing.
talking about it. What is
No,
yours
that was
exactly?
his thing about flaming voices.
It's an well, it describes it as a necklace, but I don't know if I want it to actually be a piece of jewelry. But basically, it is describes it as a where did I put that? Sorry. A voice amplification necklace. So I'd call that a voice amplification augmentation because I think it's probably like part of their body because of the way that I have them figured out. It is ranged aberrant in area.
Right. Okay. So Carly, what if we said, I mean, you're the serene choir. What if you are the ones who have the life singing magic system, like the song magic system, and you use that to fight, and you end up teaching it to my people. You teach them the heavenly songs to combat the eldritch ones. And then we have the radio station, and it's gonna be yes, perfect. It's so good. And then how did Jared's people deal the final blow, I guess?
Yeah. That's what he has to answer.
Yeah.
Terraforming technology.
Your answer to everything.
Yep.
Yeah, so you like sealed it up in stone or something like that?
Yeah. I don't know
Just
what,
drop a continent
I don't know
on
what
him.
that technology is yet, but it's
Sure.
something.
Okay. You each get one treaty with each other. And so write down that you vanquished terrible eldritch monstrosities together. Yeah, so I'm thinking desert aesthetics, like Middle Eastern aesthetics for all of this. If y'all are cool with that, like in terms of the surroundings and whatnot.
Okay, I can work with that.
What were you thinking instead?
Cityscape.
Yes, I mean definitely, but I feel like
But,
the surrounding, like the outside terrain, right?
Oh, I was thinking like blasted wastelands. So
I mean, yes, also that.
you could do Middle East. You could do Southwest U.S.
Yeah.
Just basically
Arid is the main
yes.
point. Yeah. Mhm.
I'm so tired that I found a flow picking olives out of this jar, and I just kept
Kinda
picking
went into
olives
a-
out of this jar. I got
into
a
a
whole
trance.
bunch of got a pile of olives on my container here. I don't think I want all of these olives. That's not true. I do want all of these olives.
And your last question, Carly.
Where did it go? Oh, dang it. Gotta open the PDF again. Oh, well, I have it. I have the question up. Which one has renewed our faith in the future?
Well, not me.
Yeah, definitely not.
I feel like it would have to be me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I don't think you would be helpful about any of the other factions that are involved here, except maybe Jared's. But also they're kind of working with the Deathless Lead, and
Yeah.
Some of them are.
yeah, probably me.
The more misguided ones.
So I get 2 treaty on you then. What is it? What does it mean? And they describe the holiness expressed in their doctrine. What?
Maybe that. I don't know.
And they describe the holiness expressed in their doctrine. Oh, I see.
Something in your
Something
doctrine
in my
that aligns
doctrine
with
that aligns.
why
Yeah.
we find faith in the future.
I mean, I'll probably choose. Should I choose revenge, vigilance, or solidarity? Probably vigilance, I think. The trigger for that is when you defend a non-militant community against predation, you gain surplus justice, spies, or morale. I feel like that's probably mine. So, like, right, the idea of just like we defend me as a faction, right? We defend the helpless communities from the Deathless Elite and the Eldritch Powers and all those people, and probably the Death Squads. Yeah. Okay. All right, Jared's questions, history questions.
Which one of you did we cultivate as a backup force?
As a backup force, you said?
Yeah.
I feel like it could be any of us.
Yeah, I feel like Caleb's makes the most sense as far as like people in a position where they'd be willing to fight for like be a backup force. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think so too. Yeah.
So I feel like it would be hard to convince angel robots or sun gods to like be your fault man. Or cultists either, probably. Maybe cultists.
If you were
Cultivating
cultish enough.
cultists. Oh, that's a conspiracy
And
theory.
it's already been
right
done once, so.
there. Mm.
Oh yeah, if that makes sense to you, Jared, it's probably me.
Okay, that works. And just tell us about when you became aware of our interference.
Oh yeah, you would want to cultivate. You would want to foment rebellion in the underling population, just in case you needed an extra conflict. Spark the conflict, put the conflict down, make your money.
Probably when some of our forces ran into some of your forces fighting the Tannerin. Yeah, so
That's David, right?
there was no, the Tannerin are the demons, the Eldritch things.
Okay.
Yeah, so probably when like an Eldritch being like fought or like attacked a community of ours, and you guys tracked it down and we didn't get there in time or something like that, and we got there just in time to like see you take it out, sort of a thing. Yeah. And we exchanged 2 treaty with each other, yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then the next one is, which one of you fought as our proxy against the seed?
Ooh.
It's the seed.
The seed is the like.
I was gonna say, what do we call
the seed of the fall? So the terraforming technology has gone awry.
As a proxy against
Probably me.
terraforming stuff. Yeah, that makes sense, I think.
I mean, yes, actually, the first wave, right, of the Serene Choir.
Yeah.
And honestly, there may even be like some members of that first wave still alive, the first generation still alive here, among the Serene Choir, so we can kind of connect those two things together a bit. Because then we can see the Serene Choir actually be affected by the fall a little bit too. Even though there was another wave that just recently came to help, sort of a thing. Or, actually, question, Carly, what if there was no second wave? You guys came to try to stop the fall, failed, a bunch of you died, and you guys are the remaining people. And now your backup mission is like get these people.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Yeah. Because maybe your mission, right, your mandate was save these people, right? Save this race. And you failed to do that with the terraforming stuff, with like the fall of the world. But then your backup idea to solve that is, okay, let's get them all on our spaceship and take off. Yeah, so, right, like, it was probably the Serene Choir that fought as your proxy against the Seed. Because they fought when you should have been fighting. Yeah.
All right. Tell us how the experience scarred your people forever, And we tell you the horrible fate we averted?
I mean, lost a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you have the chop shop, a bunch of. I'm curious about the wording of that. We tell you the horrible fate we averted.
Yeah.
Does that mean the horrible fate we averted because you guys did it for us? Or the horrible fate
I mean, the way it's worded is that we had them fight as a proxy while we were doing something else.
Yeah.
It sounds like this system or your family book is about getting other people to do your fighting for you. It's the second time we're like, who did we get to do our job?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just like decimation of your population then, Carly, basically. Cool.
And, I mean, the horrible fate wasn't averted, so... Oh well. We give you 2 treaty.
Cool.
And for the last one, which one of you do we provide with critical intel and assets?
Probably David.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely.
Tell us about those among you who are unaware of this relationship.
Okay.
And we tell you why it must remain a secret.
Okay, so...
Oh, okay.
So can you read it out to me again?
Okay, which one of you do we provide with critical intel and assets? Tell us about those among you who are unaware of this relationship, and we tell you why it must remain a secret.
Okay.
So there's only a particular subsect of the
Yeah.
Deathless Elite that use the Death Squads.
Right.
Homework for when we actually start this, though. Everybody needs to come up with cool names
Oh boy.
for their factions.
Oh, done.
But yeah, I was thinking maybe just like one sect of my group is working with yours.
Right, right.
And the fact that like if anyone else of my sect found out,
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
we were
can't
helping you, which
find out
yeah.
because the sect that is protecting us. I'm trying to think who doesn't know. I mean, I feel like it's more like who does know. I'm trying to think of who would be doing that. I think basically like only the very top few people know. So only Iskander and his closest advisors know. So basically like there's one guy
The
who is
liaison.
like at the so this is like the top guy. This is the character I get to pick who's actually immortal.
Nice.
His name's Iskander, and
you would, David.
What?
I know who Iskander is.
Who?
Oh, you didn't make him from an anime? Never mind, I take it back.
No, sorry.
What a surprise! Iskander is from an anime.
I looked up Persian names. So like only him and his closest advisors know about it, because probably it doesn't look good for gods to need help.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So,
it's great because part of my group is helping you, and then part of my group is trying to swell rebellion among your slaves.
yeah, exactly. Now, I have a quick question, Caleb, because I've basically, through these questions, given myself a method of defense. Do I need to still have defenses as a need? Because my character sheet required that I do that, but I have defenses now via this sort of history.
Let me figure that. Let me do some research on that between sessions, and we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
It sounds like that might be the case. Yeah.
Cool.
Then you give 2 treaty to.
Oh right, yeah. Who gets treaty over who?
Jared gets treaty over you.
Okay, I don't like how much other people have treaty over me.
We still have my questions, so we
Yeah.
might even have any more.
Yeah, so far, I don't have more treaty than anybody has over me.
My questions are each other family gives you one treaty. Where there are hierarchies, there are those who support your creed. So every one of you, you give me one treaty.
Okay. Man, I don't have any for being like demigod or for like being gods. I have
Guys,
no
I have
leverage.
3 treaty on all of you already.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm in actually a really good place.
Apparently, well, I mean that makes sense because like being a populace,
I'm kind of
you
in
would
the
have-
middle of everything.
Yeah.
I actually am not negative on anybody right
Nice.
now. Well,
Was I supposed to be
what
keeping
was the
track
thing
of
for
other
you,
people's?
Caleb?
Yeah.
Some of the more
okay.
I'm infiltrated. So
No, the other one. Hierarchy something? Sorry,
yeah.
I missed what you had said about
Each
yours.
other family gives you one treaty. Where there are hierarchies, there are those who support your creed. Yeah, so there are probably people of my race even among your people who maybe once were loyal to the ideals. But the idea, I have 3 treaty over you because I was infiltrated by you, which means we kind of have a treaty back and forth with each other. So, okay, which one of you helped us in our moment of greatest need?
Probably me.
Could be. Describe the trials you faced together and give them 2 treaty.
Me or you?
You describe
Oh.
the trials we faced together.
Well, saved you from the mega beast things.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Cthulhu.
the Tannerin, invasion.
Yes.
Okay, so you get 2 treaty over me.
Well, I have 4 treaty over you, Caleb. Ooh.
Boy. And then, which of you has conspired with those who oppressed us?
Well, me again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
Can
Why?
you have the same person be the same 2 different answers?
I
Is that a
think
thing?
so.
Okay, just curious.
I don't think there's a limit to how much treaty you could have.
No, I was just wondering if it said specifically that it had to
No,
be
it doesn't.
people, but I don't.
Why did you withdraw support from the conspiracy?
Wait, what?
So which one of you has conspired with those who oppressed us? And then it's basically the idea is why aren't you conspiring with them now? Because it's like past tense. And I guess it's because of the independent cells thing, right? Yeah.
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 Okay.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like they're probably dead, right? Because I have one of your cells helping to defend me now.
Yeah.
And if that cell, like, I wonder if these cells clash over it. You know.
Yeah. I have 5 treaty over the Death Squad people.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
All right.
Cool. All right. Now we each choose a lifestyle. We all have, I think, nomadic, dispersed, or settled. There might be weirder options for some of you, but go ahead and David, what do you have?
Sorry, for lifestyle, you said?
Yep.
Why don't I have this? Oh, here. So I have the last readout, which is my glowing sun. And I chose Travelers of the Labyrinth. The readout's ever-shifting halls can take you to dark places of this world and beyond. So basically there's just like random pathways I also have a thing where there's random pathways that will get you lost if you don't know what you're doing. And so basically there's just these, when you're inside, these like solid light pathways that you follow, and they might take you to another planet, they might take you to the bottom of the ocean,
okay.
They might take you to a pit of fire.
Interesting.
Like, yeah. That's all I had, I think, for lifestyle.
Josh, what do you have for lifestyle?
I just have the basic nomadic, dispersed, and settled.
Yeah. What are you gonna choose? You think? This is your faction, right? So like again, we're none of us are like actual like civilizations per se. It's just
Sure.
the faction itself. So having it be dispersed means the people of your faction are kind of everywhere.
Right. I'm gonna go with dispersed.
Yeah,
for
that's what I
mine.
figured.
We don't have a enclave or anything. Just
What does it give you for like the special? How is it worded there?
Your people's states and holdings are all interconnected by the endless city. The bold and mad can travel freely and secretly between them.
Oh my gosh. So you have some sort of like, you literally can go to the dark dimension or whatever?
Hang on.
Yeah, I think you have like a dark dimension called the Endless City.
How did I miss that bit? I just thought the Endless City was this because this isn't really the Sprawl. The Sprawl is something different.
Yeah, Sprawl is a different game.
The heck?
Yeah, so that you have some sort of dark dimension you can tap into.
That's pretty sick, dude.
Cool.
Fair.
All right. Well, I'm going to choose settled. You are embedded into the.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Go ahead.
You are embedded into the homeland's largest settlement, and your opinion there carries great weight among the masses. You know, the urban hellhole. I live there. Carl's?
Send your senses to your brethren across any distance, but you must always answer another Serene's cry for help.
What did you choose? I only heard the last part. Dispersed. Read that again. You kind of cut out a little bit.
You can extend your senses to your brethren across any distance, but you must always answer another Serene's cry for help.
Ooh, that's cool. That's awesome.
That's pretty sick.
Jared, what about you?
Nomadic.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Nice.
What does it say for your like special thing you get for that?
You always know when someone adds a location to the map using Uncover Secrets. Spend 1 data to show up in numbers at that location as if you were just waiting nearby.
Nice.
Nice.
That's really cool. Awesome. What did everybody choose for doctrine stuff? David?
For me, I have to pick one every time I make a character.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Every deathless character starts with an extra move or a +1 to a stat, but they must choose one. Eternal Passion, Echoes of the Past, or Predators of the Dust.
Cool.
One is an obsession, and one is take from people, and one is a ritual. I have a question. So, wait, I'm so confused. Wait. So my faction has a thing where hold on, I'll ask later. I'm a little confused about something. Sorry.
Josh?
Yeah, doctrine. Let's see.
Yeah, so you have the Enlightened Madness thing.
Which I'm just now looking down, and that's where the Endless City explanation was.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh, mind blown. Okay.
There it is. Wow, you have a lot of really cool stuff.
Oh, wow. And I can only take 1 plus Enlightened Madness. Right. A ritual is complex and time-consuming or costly. Describe it. When you perform it, the gaze of the Eldritch Powers is drawn into the world. The next time your family or character discards a 1, 2, or 3 thanks to dis or advantage, place it in one of these slots. On any row as a sequence from 1 to 3 in any direction, the stars align and you're infused with the quality next to the 3. What?
All the dice in that row are infused and set to 6. When you invoke this power before your favorite character takes action, you can replace one of the dice you would roll with an infused die. Roll the others as normal. What? So you literally can just like, as you can collect dice as you discard them from disadvantage or advantage. And you can set them on this like table or whatever, and they become 6s, as you, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then you choose your relation to the Eldritch Powers, and you chose Arcane Cultists, you said?
Well, I'm looking, because Arcane Cultists, you can use the powers, knowledge for power. Always count the boxes next to Pride and Wealth as if they held a 3.
Oh, right, because you need a 1, 2, and a 3 in a row, right? Yeah.
Right. So I get pride and wealth, faith and mirage, or
Monstrous servants.
or lore and echoes. I don't really want to go with monstrous servants because I like the idea of
Just
like
being
it's
cultists.
pretty bog standard, to be honest.
Yeah.
For the cultists to be led by monstrous servants.
Yeah.
And I like that aesthetic for this one as much as it's normal. I don't want to take the effort to flip it on its head. I want to do the normal thing. So the doctrine, I think I'm going to start with
oh yeah, your doctrine must change from one age to the next. So these will
I kind of want to start with Twisted Bloodline.
I think you do, yeah.
Powers eldritch energy sings in your blood. Always count the boxes next to faith and mirage if they help a 3.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm into it. Let's see. For me, doctrine, I chose vigilance. When you defend a non-militant community against predation, you gain surplus justice, spies, or morale. Carls, what about you for doctrine?
The Restorers. You seek the aid of others to bring the world back into harmony. You are connected by a sacred language to all culture, species, and system. Gain fleeting advantage when overcoming a language barrier.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm totally into that. Jared, what about you?
So, like, all of mine work very well. So I don't know what the abilities do. I was just gonna go based off of that.
Yeah. All right. So, Dogs of War. You fight those who prey upon the lingering remnants of humankind. When you target them, erase one of your target surplus to the subterfuge list. That's cool. Hellhounds. You fight the seed still, and only your research on cutting edge tech can give you an edge. Your characters can power up, and the family can use information as power. Watchdogs. You failed to protect the homeland once. You won't be caught unaware ever again. Gain 2 of their data, stolen or copied. Your call to the subterfuge list. So subterfuge is the move you do for sleight. Let's see. What did you choose for stats? Weaponized. Okay, so you only have a +1 sleight.
Okay.
So you could choose one of those. So
what's power up and information is power?
Power up. Let's see. When you use the marvels of the world before or aberrant creations of the fall to augment your family's actions, you spend a point of tech to give a roll advantage. So basically it means like you happen to have a piece of technology on you that helps you. Information is power. Is when your character draws on your family's research and spends a point of data, reveal a secret they discovered about your target and get a fleeting advantage exploiting it.
And Dogs of War, does that mean I can just erase David's surpluses?
Basically, it means that you could, to the subterfuge list, you could do a sleight thing, right? You can make a sleight roll, and when you fight those who prey on the lingering remnants of humankind, which is definitely David, you can add that to the list of things you can do subterfuge towards him. Yeah, so you can erase one of his surpluses.
David, I'm going to get rid of your surpluses.
Okay.
Want to do Dogs of War?
I don't know. I don't know what any of this stuff means.
So Dogs of War, you can erase surpluses, which is, stuff that you have that your character or your faction uses to do stuff, like resources, basically. Hellhounds, you fight the seed, so the terraforming technology that's still destroying the world, which means you can use cutting-edge tech and information as power to give you edges. Watchdogs, you gain 2 data, stolen or copied, to the subterfuge list. So basically it's like you can, when you're getting information against other factions, you get 2 more. You can add a really good, like gaining 2 data instead of 1, I believe, to the subterfuge list.
I guess I'll do Hellhounds.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good for you. Awesome. Let's see. Next is resources. David, what did you choose?
I have the surpluses leadership and rare materials, and I have the needs engineering, progress, and defenses.
Yeah. Cool. Josh, what about you?
I think I want to start with surpluses of what's the mechanical advantage to having surpluses of leadership?
Surplus leadership. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Like different things that you can do in the game require different surpluses. So leadership is a surplus. Let's see. Basically, it means the description here is, however your family is governed, it's working well. They may have a charismatic leader who commands loyalty, a smooth and efficient bureaucracy, or a culture of respect and understanding. So that's not only narrative, but also in certain cases, you need surpluses to like accomplish certain projects, to do certain roles, based on being leadership oriented.
I think I'm going to go with surpluses of leadership and spies. Needs are luxury, prestige, and rare materials.
So you have good leadership, good spies, but you need luxury, prestige, and rare materials. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That fits my vision of your character, or what I was thinking about your faction already. Let's see. I'm gonna do. Okay, so the list that I have is leadership, morale, recruits, justice, and safety. I'm trying to think what makes sense for a starting position for mine. I don't think leadership. That's definitely going to be a need. Honestly, I feel like I don't start with any of these, but if I have to choose some, let's say maybe recruits. Let's say recruits and safety. I have surpluses, and then I have needs of leadership, morale, and justice.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I gotta go soon, so we should probably see if we can.
Yep.
Burn through the last bit real quick.
Yep.
If possible.
Yep. Carly, what are you thinking for resources?
I have justice and leadership.
Justice and leadership. What are your needs then? So the rest of those?
Prestige, safety, luxury. Oh, those are the other ones.
Yep. Okay, cool. Jerry, what about you?
Safety and defenses.
And then you have needs of prestige, justice, and morale.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Justice is one of your needs. I like that.
Yeah.
Totally
So make notes of that. What did everybody choose for assets? Yeah, we basically just have assets and moves, and then we're done. So
Okay.
David, what did you choose for assets?
I have the voice of the sun, which is a voice amplification augmentation that is ranged area. So yeah, all
Nice.
things burn. How are you defended? I have nano swarm bodies. They are mobile, implanted, and have comms. And how do you travel? With the Great Chariot, which is a swift air vehicle that has a turret.
Death on Wings.
Yep.
Nice.
That's
Awesome.
Also,
Josh?
as a note, my character just randomly, like the character that I get that I can bring back, every time I zoom in on him, you do like the tool up thing. He just randomly gets, like, his body, I guess, gets either an outfit or weapon tag. It's bizarre.
Nice.
But he's like weirdly big, I guess.
Yeah.
His body also has mobile as a thing. So, anyways.
Yeah. Josh?
All right. How am I defended?
So
I'll go through them.
you get to pick
Great.
three of these from the 4 categories.
All right. How to fight, defended, travel, and useful expertise. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So you can't have all 4 options.
Right.
But you
But-
could have 3
Okay,
things
I'm-
from one option.
I just
That's not
managed to swipe away from the page I was on,
Oh no.
and I'm lost and confused.
Should be page 68 of Endgame.
When I'm lost and I'm home, sinking like a stone.
Oh my gosh, this stuff is crazy.
What?
I
Oh, your
can't
Stuff
options?
that- yeah, your
Or
options.
mine. Oh, you looked at them.
Yep.
How do I fight? Words of madness and power.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to the part where Carly sits there with her horn. I'm yelling, and you're muttering creepy stuff, and then we all just fall over and die.
Well, what's cool about this is I think like we're having this like music theme for the magic and stuff, and I'm imagining, right, like, you know, Carly's angels are doing the singing, but the words of madness and power are probably like chants or something, right? Like this like rhythmic chant.
Gosh, it's ridiculous. An interdimensional hound? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
That was a bit
What-
much.
What else are you choosing?
How am I defended? I'm gonna go with sustained by the void.
Yes, perfect. Sealed and implanted are the tags there.
Grafted wings. Transport worms. Void
Void
walkers. Yep.
walkers.
Mhm.
So what are you going to choose then? How do you travel, or what useful expertise can you draw on?
Probably useful expertise. I just have to actually look at what my options are.
Okay.
Let me
Inquisitors,
finish.
legates, and magistrates. So exposing heresy, enforcing the hierarchy, or negotiating compromise. Or you can have wings.
Are you saying it's late? What useful expertise can you draw on? Magistrates for negotiating compromises. Legates for enforcing hierarchy. Inquisitors for exposing heresy.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to expose heresy.
For the
since
emperor. Oh,
this is all heresy.
Exactly.
it's true.
We're in the business of heresy. We don't need to enforce it.
Maybe magistrates?
Negotiating compromises. Could be. I mean, I also like the idea of
Legates.
transport worms.
Oh yeah, transport worms.
It's so ridiculous.
Mm.
Oh, man.
I mean, we are
Void walkers.
we're kind of on Arrakis right now. Let's just be real.
Yeah, I mean.
Or
that's
do void
horrifying.
walkers.
You're gonna do void walkers?
I just don't know what a void walker is, which is
Does that
what
mean you
I'm
have
gonna-
void
You
walkers,
can
or
make
you
it up.
are void walkers?
You
Does that just
you
mean
travel
know
via
it?
void walkers.
Oh, okay, so you're
It's
not.
a mount, and it's space and air
Okay.
travel is allowed.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go with void walker mounts.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about what a void walker is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, so one note- yeah,
oh no! Oh, that's an awful
Real
image.
quick, one note about the eldritch beings, like the demons and stuff. If this is the Tannerin, if this is the they take a particular form depending upon the world they are on. So each world is different, and so I'm totally fine with you deciding what particular sort of general form they take, right? So the world that that the remnant ends up going to, they take the form of dragons. So all sorts of different dragony beasts, but you can choose like an aesthetic basically for what they look like here.
Mhm. Ood.
Food?
Ood.
Ood. Like the instrument?
No.
Nice.
Google the word.
Oh,
ood.
I see.
Mhm.
Oh, so like tentacly things?
Yes.
I'm totally down with this being Cthulhu.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Because I'm just getting pictures of a
OOD.
guy. Oh, no,
Oh,
never
I
mind.
hate
That's
them.
horrifying and disgusting.
Oh,
Isn't
no,
it
I hate them
amazing?
so much. No.
Only instead of like a
Absolutely
base, instead of like a base skin tone color, the tone is just death gray,
Nice.
I should have known this was
like
Doctor
a
Who.
gray to black color.
Are they
Yeah.
smoking bowls? What are they doing here?
That bit is unclear.
Oh, it electrocutes you. Never mind. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're weapons and
Yeah.
they are communications devices, and
Very
they
odd.
Ood are servants. Yeah, servants.
Okay.
But
Okay,
they're very
so-
much the Cthulhu sort of aesthetic that I
Yeah.
want out of
Yeah,
these things.
I'm down. I'm down.
It's terrifying.
I don't know what
So
a
we
void
have-
walker looks like, but
We have assets. For me, then I have the thing. You could always add another tag to your gear if you add unreliable to the as a tag as well. So that's fun. So I picked 3.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna choose. Okay, so the choices for how do you fight is homemade explosives, heavy and menacing tools, and sturdy automatic rifles. What do you guys think? Heavy and menacing tools is melee and brutal.
I mean, I feel like
Dude,
those would work well with your
exoskeletons.
powers.
I think
Yeah.
I think I want to do exosuits
suits.
with power swords, right? Like,
That's like power to drill, but swords work. Yeah.
well, I don't want to. I
Oh.
want to stray away from like it's basically they've taken the industrial gear that they used and have made it into warfare gear instead. So
Right.
more like probably like big old like power hammers.
hmm Gosh.
Okay, so how do you fight? I did that. How are you defended? How do you travel? What useful expertise can you draw on? I'm gonna choose. Scavenged military gear is how I'm defended.
Nice.
And horses is how I travel.
Oh my goodness. Nice.
So
Oh,
I don't.
see, you're going the knights,
Mhm.
the knights on horseback.
Yeah. I've been reading Stormlight, my friend. I want exosuits on giant horses.
What?
With big old power hammers. Cool. All right.
Hey,
mhm.
Josh, do you have any special ability for your assets? Because I think everybody does, and I don't remember hearing yours.
Eldritch characters gain a spell to evoke hostile grounds of their choice in the current scene at the cost of 1 harm.
Dude,
So hostile
That's
grounds is
crazy.
like a thing on the scene, basically.
okay.
Yeah,
Mine is just
not
literally all of my stuff
seeing-
is worth so much money that it counts as if two of them. Everything
Counts
I
as
have
what?
is worth a lot of. Everything I have gets precious, which means it's worth tons of money. That's
Ah.
Basically,
I was just
basically
curious if yours was-
hostile grounds means it's like you're in a hostile environment and a whole bunch of like things. When you're in a hostile environment, you roll with disadvantage, like
Ugh.
a bunch of stuff like that.
So basically, you cast Bane on everybody.
But
You make the
It's at
the
the
wasteland
cost of
more
a harm.
wastelandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it hurts you.
oh, slit the hand, squeeze the blood out onto the
Gross.
ground.
Yeah.
Darkness spreads.
Exactly. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Carl's, what are you doing for assets?
How do you fight? A herald's trumpet.
Yeah.
How are you defended? Blessed jewelry.
Perfect.
You eschew mere vehicles. Instead, you are summoned by threats to that which is holy.
Whoa! So it's literally like we
crazy.
don't need to travel. We just appear where threats to that which is holy is.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Also, I like
Wherever
how
you need us, we will appear.
Yeah.
Quite literally. So try not to need us in places like public bathrooms.
I like how all of the like supernatural people use sound to kill each other, and then all of the practical people use like swords and guns to kill each other.
Mhm.
What useful
This is ridiculous.
expertise?
So you can only
draw
choose
on?
3 categories, I believe.
Oh,
You
okay.
can
Yeah.
pick 3 things.
So you can't choose from one category.
Then I'll take the last one off.
Okay, cool. Jared?
So
Assets.
assets?
Mm-hmm.
What does the thing at the beginning mean? It says
It's a special ability.
Oh, it's special ability? Okay. Well, we fight with sniper rifles.
Nice.
Nice.
Perfect.
It was
Hey,
either
like
that or
how-
pistols.
Yeah, covert ops.
What
and
is
stuff,
your
yeah.
special ability, Jared?
Guardian characters have means to secretly communicate with the rest of the family.
Okay, cool. So you have like
Give each character 2 from instant, safe, or long ranged. Is what it says
Oh,
after
okay.
that. Yeah.
nice.
So yeah, sniper rifles, armored clothes, how you defend, and how do we travel?
Wait, what did you say you have for how are you defended?
Armored clothes.
Okay.
Nice. Now, again, you can only pick 3 things total. So would you rather have a travel method or an expertise, like people that you can call on?
Hmm.
These are like extra, like beyond your family, obviously. Like
Okay.
you have your family members, but then you can also call on these guys. Is the idea? I don't know mechanically how that works.
I don't know.
You literally
I don't
have
know any
you
of the
have
mechanics.
A gang. You have a gang basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
basically.
you have people that come with you basically.
This is like on a personal level. Basically, you can still
Yeah.
have buddies.
So basically, it's like this is all the default gear every character from this family
Yeah.
starts out with: a sniper
Okay.
rifle, armored clothes, and whatever else you decide.
So just a gang of people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You
man.
only have one option from there, and it's the local assets.
Yeah.
That's it. That sucks.
Mm-hmm. They're quality 2 though.
Oh wow.
I don't know what that means.
It's
They have more
everybody
tags.
else gets quality 1. You get basically get they get 2 tags. They get 2 things. Or
Should I take local assets or black helicopters?
Oh, I mean, helicopters is pretty cool.
So this is like for like if I make a character.
if you make a character, they start out with a black helicopter. Yes.
Every
Okay.
character,
Every
every character you
character.
make.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll take that. I don't want people slowing me down anyway.
So he's literally going to be in the helicopter with a sniper rifle. Just.
I can't
Perfect.
wait for the part where
Wonderful.
your helicopters go against my flying chariots and they have like an air battle. Really cool.
This is the end times.
Wow.
Okay, and then everybody chooses chooses the moves that are the number of moves that are given to them. David, what did you choose?
Sorry, I'm considering changing my thing to bodyguards because I didn't realize quality 2 is so rare, and I can get
Oh yeah,
quality,
quality
2
2
bodyguards.
is good.
What does it do mechanically?
I'll
better?
I'll look up specifically what. it does.
Actually, no. You know what? I don't think I would have bodyguards. That was my whole point. All right, never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll just stick with the plain. Moves. I have to take the readout. Readout.
The last readout, yeah.
Which, yeah. So the description for that is you can't ever hope to occupy all its levels, and you have forgotten more of its secrets than you'll ever know. Choose an amazing but unreliable feature. Its sprawling halls present a lavish feast. Choose an uncontrollable defense. Paths of light that lead the unwary astray. And choose a lurking threat, a genius loci guarding a key location.
Nice.
And my second move, Life Everlasting, a deserving member of your family can live forever. Your character starts with a role fulfilled, so basically an advancement, and it can always be brought back to action age after age.
Nice.
When you take the dead and dying to the readouts labs, provide professional care regardless of surpluses, though they lose 1 sway to a minimum of -2. You can even revive them as long as they have not yet triggered their death move. So I can basically bring people back to them.
Nice. Josh, what did you choose for your other move? You get Enlightened Madness, and then if you choose Endless City, then you get to choose 2 sectors from the Endless City and place them on the map.
Right. The Endless City sounds cool.
I know.
I wanted to give the rest of these a bit more of a look over.
Yeah. Blasphemy and rituals. When you pronounce judgment on disbelievers, spend 2 treaty on them and give them your infused quality as a need.
Wow.
Oh.
Make them addicted to you, basically.
When a family or faction garners 3 such needs, the Eldritch powers turn their horrific gaze upon them as a behemoth visitation, monster assault, or uncanny disaster of your description.
That's
What?
ridiculous.
Gain 1 treaty from every devoted family and faction.
That wouldn't be useful for you then, because there is no other devoted family or faction.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I do like the idea of building up a
bunch of
threat to
curses. Yeah.
But yeah, basically just stacking the curses.
Yeah. Oh, Josh, you're gonna have a lot of fun with that. Just with this character or this
Mm-hmm.
faction.
Oh, you know it. Insane Wonders. Once the Enlightened Madness sequence is complete, you gain the infused quality as a surplus. When used in a wonder, this surplus can replace any of its regular requirements. Tell us how the project was worked in eldritch ways. Ooh. And the city does some stuff. Tell us how these places pervert mundane expectations and give us a sign of their alien power and wisdom. Also choose a second stat. You roll with advantage when you act in the city.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
When in the city, you can activate Enlightened Madness freely. So you don't have
Whoa.
to ritualize it. You can do it whenever you're in the city.
That's crazy.
You can change sectors or their location at the beginning of every age, and you may remove an infused quality to bring another sector into the world.
That's so cool. Dark Dimension stuff, man. You gotta choose that one. Dark
It's like
Dimension.
pop-up buffs. It's like
buffs that I can just sort of plunk down and move around as needed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could do a thing that banishes and forbids eldritch powers from a land. And I gain a treaty on every hostile family and faction. That's kind of cool. Not nearly as cool as Endless City, so I'm definitely taking Endless City.
Nice. Go ahead and look at those sectors then and see what you want to do with them. I'm going to choose Mighty Renegades. It doesn't matter that you are everyday people. Together, you will change the course of history. When you have one of surplus recruits, morale, or leadership, and gain a second, you also get the third. So I can easily get those. And then I'm obviously choosing Hell Can't Stop Us. When you make a grand collective effort to create a wonder, you can invest surplus leadership or morale without erasing it.
Nice.
Carly, what about you? What is your what it gives options
I've
you
got
get?
Divine Grace and the Mandate of Heaven. So whatever supernatural authority you drew on died with the fall. Now it's up to you to find what is holy in this new world and cherish and protect it. Start with one grace and one commandment, a statement in the form of, it is holy to blank. Whenever you help another family perform a holy action, gain one grace. When you willingly accept a need in the course of performing a holy action, gain one grace. Whenever you refuse to perform a holy action, lose all grace. Per age, you see the presence in another's actions, you may add a new commandment to your list, emulating their deeds. Both of you will receive an immaterial surplus of your choice.
What does
You do
grace do then?
grace. Yeah.
I don't know.
What is this class?
What?
What's
This
the name
is
of it?
Serene
The
Choir.
move? Oh.
Okay, Serene Choir. What's that in? The Engine of Life?
Engine of Life, yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
And then Mandate of Heaven. The presence gave you tools to enact its will in the world, and even in its absence, the choir is mighty. When you are in dire need, spend one grace to
There you go.
outfit a tag you need to fulfill a commandment.
The other moves give you places to spend grace.
Right.
Nice. So you basically can like summon weapons or outfits or whatever. Or no, you can upgrade weapons or outfits.
Yeah.
The tag you need. When you're that's really cool. Sweet. And Jared?
Smoke and mirrors. You have infiltrated every family and faction in the homeland.
Oh my
Choose
gosh,
an
that's amazing.
choose an extra.
Everyone?
Yep.
Oh dear.
Choose an extra thing your agents achieve on any subterfuge hit.
Nice.
If build the future is in play, see legacy, the engine of life. When you invest a surplus to build a wonder, you gain pick 2 extra options from any list. If not, when anyone else invests their first surplus in a wonder, gain 2 treaty on them.
Nice. Cool.
And the other one is a wilderness of mirrors. All secret agents, you use your techniques whenever anyone gains surplus, spies gain 2 treaty on them, as long as your camps keep training recruits. Gain surplus. Spies at the beginning of every age.
Cool. Yeah, so you got a lot of spies going around. Well, awesome. There we go. Everybody has alliance moves, inheritances, and we have to obviously make characters. And next time we actually do this, of course.
Of course.
But I want you really badly, David, to at some point though play the Hellion, because of the name of your people. And you just call him Helion.
Yeah.
Did anyone give me treaty? Because I didn't keep track of that very well.
Let me check. You have 2 on me.
Okay.
I'll look at mine.
4, that
I
was
know, Caleb. I have 4 on you. That's the only one I really kept track of.
Okay.
Uh,
Look at your history questions, guys, yeah, and see if any of those were answered by Jared.
I just have treaty over Jared. Caleb, did I get a treaty over or under you for the hierarchy
There's the thing that said the word hierarchy in it. And you said it twice to me, and it didn't make any sense.
So
you got one. So
I got
that means
one.
I have.
Yep.
So I'm keeping track of also the treaty you have over me. So you have one over me.
I have 3 over you in total then, because
3 over me in total.
we exchanged
yes,
2 treaty
okay,
for that
it.
other thing. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
I give 1 treaty over everyone, or everyone gives 1 treaty to me, because where there are hierarchies, there are those who support my creed. So basically, anywhere there are people who have hierarchies, there are also people who...
There's always whiners.
There's people who want to tear down the hierarchy, is the idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, there you go. Cool. That was super awesome. So homework, name your factions.
I have so much of that already.
What?
I have so much of that already.
Homework, actual homework, yeah. Sorry. Just be thinking about it. And then Jared, I don't know if you've done this already, but choose the secret landmarks that you want, 1 from each of those categories. And let me know where you want them on the map at some point.
Okay.
And then Josh, think about where you want your endless city stuff to be, your sectors and stuff.
Yeah. How does exactly that work? Does that
basically you put?
Can that stack on top of other things, or is it just extra landmarks?
It's extra landmarks. Basically, it's basically just where places where the endless city has started to you have access to the endless city from these places.
Okay.
Right. Tell us how these places pervert mundane expectations and give us a sign of their alien power and wisdom. Basically, it's like the endless. Your domains extend to secret places beyond this world into an infinite city of arcane design. And basically, it's like the endless city starting to seep over into our world, I guess, is the idea.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you have really cool stuff in there. Corrupted gardens, a den of vice, a secret street, the ancestral home, a defiled temple.
It's gonna be super cool seeing scenes in your like shadowy underworld, and then seeing scenes in my like perfect angelic light dome, and then like having them be
and then the brown and gray grunge of everything else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's really cool.
We have a cool palette
for sure.
gradient going on here.
Yeah, I have to decide what the inside.
Yeah, this has helped me tremendously already. Just like thinking about the foundations for these people and like who they are.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, getting to make an immortal like demigod was pretty fun.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, I'll read up on the rules to this game, and
yeah, I don't remember the rules to this game very well.
Yeah, I'll read up. And if any of you have the time, look at the the base rules at least. Probably.
I'm gonna just constantly be remembering the rules to that other game we played, the world building game.
Oh yeah.
And also the one we wrote, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, it will be really cool. We'll figure out a place to start, kind of, whenever we do this next, and we will make characters and stuff. And the character creation is pretty quick, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I did it while we were talking, so yeah.
It's basically made to make characters very quickly, and there's even an option called quick characters to make characters even more quickly. So if you literally just needed to like turn out a character in 3 seconds, you could just be like, all right, there you go, I got a character, let's go. Which will be really, really helpful again for the idea that we're basing this on, which is we're gonna do this whenever people are here. Cool, awesome. Well, I'm really pumped. Because I was very sad that we kept just not being able to do this, and then one shots last second are kind of difficult. So yeah, sounds good. That's it.
Cool.
I'll have to come up with a name for this campaign and overlays though too. So it's really fun. All right, that's it.